Let's go now.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop.
Many spend their days passively searching for something interesting to do. Others dig in and find it. While nothing is certain, anything is possible. And the anticipation leads you into action. Because it's here that adventures begin. Stories are unearthed. Secrets are revealed. Fortunes are found. Mysteries are solved. And the past is brought to life. Nothing valued is ever lost. It's simply waiting to be discovered. So here's the question. What are you looking for?
Guys, who wants to win a mini hoard? For your chance to win a Nocta Macro mini hoard, all you have to do is this. Go to our YouTube channel, which is Peaky Finders Metal Detecting Shop and Rallies. And on the video, the competition video, just type in mini hoard, and that's it. That's all it takes for you to be entered. And then the winner will be revealed tonight on the big detecting show live, which starts at 7:30. So get your entries in. Can't wait to give one of these away. And good luck, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Say good luck. Goodbye and good luck.
I love you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What day is it?
Sunday.
It's Sunday.
All day. Yep, all
It's
day.
20 to 8, and it's the Big Detective Show with me, Dave sadly, and my extremely lovely assistant, compadre. I don't know which way to look.
You're only next to me.
Mr. Adrian Gaylor. Good evening, Adrian. How are you today?
I'm fine, Dave. Yeah, good. You good? You've been busy today,
Right.
haven't you?
Oh, I got to be Santa today.
Yeah, emptying your sack out everywhere.
Wasn't me sack, it was me gusset that split.
I heard.
And I had to walk with my sack in front of myself. So, have you been out and about today?
Mainly visiting people and briefly putting a new machine together that I was sent this week. So
would that be the Quest one?
The Q60, yeah, the Q60. I've got the Q30, and I've just got the Q60 to have a play with as well. So you hear all about that in the coming months after I've got scripts with it.
I've got some pixelation there. If I put my hand there, you can't see it. Look at that. Pixelation. Hand.
I thought it was dandruff.
Pixelation. Hand.
Oh, yeah. That'd be quite hard.
I think I'm just like Back to the Future Part 1.
Yeah.
Disappearing. I do it on the screen, but I balls it up. Anyway, shall we move on? Because we've got another massive night ahead of us. Last night's show was very well received, and it was extraordinary to be able to speak to so many people and look at so many great finds as well, Adrian.
Yeah, it was. It was some very good guests on last night, and like when Chip was on talking about his Roman coins and stuff, I thought I was watching a television. Well, we are a television show, but I thought I was sitting in my pants with a packet of crisps and a beer watching.
You were sitting in the pants with a packet of
crisps.
I
was sitting. No, I didn't have pants on last night. Well,
right, okay.
Yeah. Now, enough said.
Enough said. But yeah, there wasn't a bit of it that didn't work perfectly. It was very fluid throughout. Being able to speak to the likes of Michelle, to Dilek, to all the other guests, and to be able to, invite them back in the future for a more in-depth discussion too.
I think definitely, because obviously Dilek was talking about the multi-frequency machine that they're working on, and then Mind Lab have got something very exciting and special, which I think is online. So what that is, I don't know. So yeah, it's they've definitely got to come back on.
It's definitely something to consider anyway.
Mm.
I've just been playing and I've been I was about to change my background a minute ago to the one that you've just sent over, but Luke split to me, so I was happy that he went back to you again.
Oh, right.
Okay. Anyway, shall we? We've got a busy. There's a bit of a statement that's coming out now from the team from Virtual Detectival. So shall we bring Chris and Mark and Scott onto the show? Is there anyone else? Because I really can't remember anymore.
Shirley.
Oh, there's you. There's Scott.
There's
Chris. And there's Mark. It made it back in time. And you know what? We've given people a lot of abuse this week for their lack of festive cheer. And there's only Chris who's got his festive cheer on. And Scott just hasn't got a bauble.
I need a Christmas hat. Give me a Christmas hat, please. Hang on.
What are you going to do? Put it on the dog?
No, it's my boy's elf hat.
Oh, mate, you look like a gnome now. Becher the gnome.
You look a bit like a gnome.
Yeah, Becher the gnome. Right.
It's about as festive I could.
Mark and Chris, it's been obviously a busy day for you both as well. Just want to give us an overview before, obviously, or do you want me to pass straight over to Scott?
Well, I think everybody's aware of the weekend's events and how it's panned out so far. We've had the technical guys, which includes Scott now on the team, gratefully, and they've been looking at everything. My hat kind of says everything about how I feel at the moment. It's a bit floppy. I'm a bit down.
I was thinking limp.
Yeah, a bit like that as well. It's been a very exhausting weekend, but Scott and Paul have been working really hard to try and resolve the issues that we faced And Scott is going to explain a little bit more about the technical side of it because he understands it far better than the rest of us. So, Scott, your go.
Yep. No worries. Well, hi all. I'm Scott from Detector Network. As you're aware, I've come in as a technical consultant to assist the team after the problems with website service yesterday. For clarity, I'm just going to read from a statement just so we're clear. So yesterday, the Services Archaeology and Heritage Association released a Facebook post citing that Virtual Detectival suffered a major malicious cyber attack and loosely claims that these attacks are usually orchestrated to steal personal and financial data, which is not the case, and I feel using terms such as major malicious are completely unfounded, unnecessary, and purely designed to cause panic. Distributed denial of service attacks are quite simple to perform and are purely designed to send a prolific amount of traffic to a website in order to take it down, in effect denying the website service to users. Today, after having spent more time with the technical team, it's highly likely that a distributed denial of service attack was orchestrated against Virtual Detectival in order to take the service offline. This doesn't mean that any personal data was stolen, nor does it mean the site was hacked. We're performing further vulnerability tests on the web application, and we will release a further statement with the outcome this coming week. Unfortunately, distributed denial of service attack protection was overlooked by the technical team. However, the correct security measures were in place to protect your data. The Virtual Detectival platform asks for the following data: a username, email address, and a password. There have been reports of scam calls yesterday, and people were associating these calls with Virtual Detectival. I can say with 100% confidence that any scam calls received yesterday are completely unrelated to Virtual Detectival, as the platform doesn't ask for your phone number. The site is and was secured with 256-bit SSL encryption, and that means that all of your data is fully encrypted when transmitted across the internet. All payments are processed directly through the Stripe payment processor API. Stripe handle all the payments and not Virtual Detectival. Stripe are fully PCI compliant at the highest level with sufficient protection against hacks, and I'll be assisting the team throughout the rest of this week.
Can you say that in Dave?
I can do you another version, Dave, if you want. It'll take me a while, though.
Just message it me later, then I'll get it then.
I'll give it a go.
I much appreciated that, Scott. I understood. So Luke put me up. I understood it. No, I did understand it. Thank you very much for doing that on behalf of the Virtual Detectival team.
No
so, I shall let you go now, Scott, because I know you are very busy. You just wanted to pop on to do that statement. And obviously, I will speak to you in the very near future, as will everyone else. And before you go, I would just like to point people who are on here to the Detector Network. So throw out the .com again, young man.
Thank you very much. It's detectornetwork.com. Just go on there and sign up. You can download the Android app, and the iOS app will be available this week as well. And
Did you see that Did Mark actually try and destroy that then by coughing over detectornetwork.com?
Did you mention you've got an app as well, Dave?
I've got an app, yes. It's got an app. I'm sure we'll discuss it at length later, but for now,
anyway,
Scott,
have a great night. Thank you very much.
And yourself. Take care, young man.
Well done,
Take care.
Scott.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Welcome back. How slick is that Luke Higgins getting now?
Yeah, he's
Straight in with the advert. Oof.
He'll be working on Channel 4 next.
It will. Philip Wills, I'll get that in the end. Philip Wills in the chat room is asking, is the app called the Archaeology and Metal Detector magazine? Yes, it is, Philip. It might not be searchable at the moment in Google Play. I believe it takes a couple of days to actually to find that. But if you go to the our website, www.archmdmag.com, which you'll see in a wee while, you'll see at the top left-hand corner, let me just check, install the app Android, and it'll take you to it. And Scott's just sorting out the second app for, what's it called? Apple, momentarily. So the iOS one, hopefully, if he's able to, because he's got a lot of work on now this week, will be out next weekend. So the other thing I want to discuss before we go any further is the competition. Now, you still have a wee while to enter tonight's competition. Last night's competition, we're giving it a little bit longer. Luke made a video to try and make it a little bit easier. And if you go over to Peaky Finders Metal Detecting Shop and Rallies YouTube page, subscribe, find the short 22-second video which is on there, and write Mini Horde in the comments. And lo and behold, you'll be entered into tonight's prize draw. Excuse me. Each person has been issued a number by Luke, and he'll be running a live random number generator at some point in the very near future, so everything is transparent, and that is to win the Mini Horde. We'll be also starting the second competition a little bit later. There's a video on the ArcMD Mag YouTube. Is it ArcMD Mag TV YouTube page channel? And if you subscribe to that and comment Detector on that short 30-second video, that prize will be released on Thursday's show. And we'll be doing that a similar way with a random number generator. We may have another something just to throw in tonight, or we may be... No, sorry, we're not. We're going to throw something in tonight, but because we're busy, we're now throwing that into the 23rd episode, Wednesday the 23rd. We won't be on the Thursday. We'll be on the Wednesday because nobody wants to watch this on Christmas Eve. And I like to eat and get fat. So anyway, Chris and Mark, welcome back again. Ding, ding. And Adrian, ding, ding. Here he comes. Boop, boop. Metal Detectives, you've been had a dig on today, am I right?
Yeah, it was about as good as the rest of the weekend or the year's been.
Shall I not go there?
5 or 6 hammers, a couple of Roman, a few odds and sods, and the weather was bloody awful.
I don't know what to say, really, now. I think I just want to come down to wherever you live in the world, because I can't remember Oxfordshire, and just give you a cuddle. Socially distanced cuddle.
Well, a virtual hug, Dave, will do at the minute.
Virtual hugs.
Where's he gone?
Oh, dear.
What's happened?
He's trying to phone you, I think, Mark.
He's trying what?
No, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. He's saying,
what is he doing? Where did he go? 1 minute he was talking to me, the next minute he's just on the phone and he's vanished.
I said to technology, mate. I said to you, tell us about the day, because Luke was ringing and I put myself on mute, and then Luke put me on screen on my phone.
Well, I pretty much told you about the day. It peed down with rain. We had to dodge horses because, well, luckily we were parked on hard standing, but still 2 people managed to get stuck because they had a little bit of grass to park on. Amazing. So we dodged horses, found literally sod all, apart from about 5 hammers between us. It rained most of the day. It was cold. It was horrible. As I said, it basically sums up 2020 and this weekend at the moment.
Did you have many people turn up?
Yeah, it was a full house because we limit the digs. So yeah. It was a full house today.
Well, I bet it was nice for them, not just for getting out and detecting, but for the mental health and actually seeing people who you wouldn't normally see for a while and have a nice wee chat as well.
Everybody seemed happy to be out. We just wished it wasn't peeing with rain.
And Chris, have you been up to much today?
Have I been up to much today? I started at 5 o'clock this morning, but woke up by the phone buzzing. Basically, no, it's just been to and fro, backwards and forwards with the tech guys. Try not to throw too much of my help in. But no, it's just a busy sort of day on the phone, to be honest, more than anything. Most importantly, I've filled a big glass up every time somebody says you've got an app. because I ran out.
Well,
last night, halfway
incidentally,
through.
Kevin Whitmore has just asked in the comments, have we got an app? And yes, Kev, we have an app.
Good one.
I think you're going to need a bigger
Scott,
glass.
just like say, obviously, thanks for Scott for popping in. It's obviously it's a big job technically that's going on at the moment. Just ensure everything goes smoothly. Got to say thanks for him for helping Paul. They're both working. I can't really know how I heard it. They're both working like
clockwork.
Help me out now. They're both working like
mad.
Like mad, yeah. They're both working like mad, yeah. So it's been a lot going on today, but nothing much I can update you on, because if I say anything technical, it's usually completely wrong. But anyway, thanks for the only other thing I can say is that we're still getting a lot of support, a lot of messages of support. And I got to be honest, I'm chuffed with it, to be honest, because there have been obviously that thing with the archaeological thing. There was a few funny little comments, but everybody jumped onto that. And they also said, these are, well, at the end of the day, myself, Mark, Karen, Paul, everybody, we're all good people, and we've been involved in this game for a long time. So any suggestion of, this whole scam and this, that, and the other, it's total tosh. And I think 99% of the metal detecting community know this, and that they are giving us some great support.
Fantastic. Adrian, do you think Chris has actually moved for the past 3 days, really?
No, he hasn't, because you didn't tell him that the show finished last night. So Chris stayed there. He's been there all the time. Yeah, he hasn't moved at all. Chris, I've just got a quick question. You might not be able to answer it, and it might not have been decided yet. Are there any plans to do a sort of test of when it's up and running for people?
There's going to be multiple testing going on this week for the next 3 days. I can't say much about it. There is some. We got a little idea in mind, just to have a bit of fun with everybody, to bring some people in. But I can't say much about that, because I don't know where that's going to happen yet. But yeah, there's major testing going on over the next few days.
Right. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Well, at least everybody is well and truly aware of everything that's going on. So I think at this point, Luke actually rang me up to tell us our first guest is here. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Malcolm Andrews from the Dorset and the West Past Finders.
Hey.
There he is.
Hello.
Good evening. Oh, Malcolm, I've never met you before. I've never met you, but you've just saved Christmas.
Why's that?
Because you
look
at us all.
Of what?
You've brushed your hair and you've got a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to brush my hair because,
I mean, look at us. Me and Adrian haven't made one bit of effort. Chris has been there for 3 days. He's stinking in his own sweat now. He's got the worst Christmas tree you're ever likely to see, and Mark's got the kids' nomad on. Anyway, Malcolm, thank you for joining us tonight.
No worries.
Obviously, looking forward to speaking to you. And Mark's basically description that he's given us tonight, that obviously you're a member of the Dorset and West Past Finders. You're going to tell us a bit about the charity digs and the work that you do there. And also you're going to be telling us about some of the phantasmagorical injuries at Detectival.
Yeah. There's been a few of those over the first year. Wasn't too bad, actually, but the second year was quite broken leg and all sorts of things going on. Yeah, we had to deal with that.
Obviously, because Malcolm, you are our first aider, of course, just in case nobody knows that. You and Glenda do all the first aid, and you have done at Detectivals since the kickoff, really. Yeah. Hence, that's why he knows so much about detecting injuries.
So Malcolm, obviously, most people won't know you. You're obviously well known in the metal detectives group or what have you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and metal detecting and such like?
Yeah, okay. I started metal detecting when I was 11. I've been to loads and loads of rallies, the old South of England rallies and Seascope rallies and all that sort of thing. And then I worked for social services for about 20 years, and the first place I worked, they had no money to do anything, absolutely nothing, So I thought, I'm going to put a metal detecting rally on. which I did it was in a place called Whiston in Sussex, and it was quite a success. I think we raised about £1,400 for a one-day dig. So that was in 1998, I believe. Then in 2000, I organised the notorious Climping rally, where there was two hordes found: the Gold Stater horde and the Silver Roman horde. And that put me off organising metal detecting rallies, even though they're all for. I've always done it for charity, and I'm the head of a registered charity called Beatbox in Worthing. But I moved down to Dorset, and I was working as an ambulance driver. And one lady said she needed to raise money for her son to. He was on life support permanently, and it was to raise money for breathing apparatus and stuff like that. So I said, well, look, I don't mind if you find me a piece of land, and I'll organise something where we can raise some money for you. And within about a week, she'd found some land, some very good land actually, and we raised, I think it was £2,135 from a one-day dig, or it was around that. What was it then? £2,242. Glenda's just informed me that that's how much we raised on that. And then that was the start of the Dorset and West Pathfinders, which it's now 5 years. That was 5 years ago, and we do as many digs as we can. We raise every penny we raise goes to various charities. We don't do big charities. We do these smaller ones. The local hospices. We've even raised money for individual children that have had cancer, and give their mum a holiday with the kids when they've finished treatment and stuff like that. Basically, I think we've raised it's well over £100,000 now in the last 5 years.
Fantastic!
So,
Wow!
Woo!
That's basically what we do. We don't take anything for ourselves. It usually costs us money, unfortunately. But we do it because we love doing it, and we love meeting the people. The people we get coming. I mean, I'm known for being a bit of a, miserable git, as Glenda just said, because I don't like moaners. I don't like, we're there to raise money at the end of the day. Most sites that I put the people on have always been pretty good. They've always found stuff, but occasionally you might get the odd one. And then you just wing with that. We've had a few moaners over the years, but I don't come again. Simple as that. Don't come again.
Yeah.
And what the point of my rambling is that basically we've got a really nice group of people who come to our digs, and that's why we do it. If I couldn't put up with what Mark does, because Mark, obviously he gets so much flack. The slightest thing goes wrong, it's down on Mark, and I'm too long in the bloody tooth to do all that.
I can honestly say I've never seen any of that in any way, shape, or form ever.
Yeah. Did you not have your computer on yesterday then?
I can neither confirm or deny that allegation.
No. No, I mean, there was a one on I saw today on someone's bloody, I don't know what group it was on, but someone put a comment up, oh, it's all about money and money this and money that. And I just get sick of it, because actually Mark is probably one of the only people that I know, well, not the only one, but he's one of the only ones that I actually know that do it for, all right, he makes a living out of it, but he does it for charity as well, which is, by me, that's great. The people who I cannot abide are the people who charge you 20 quid to go on a dig, and they put you on any old dog poo park. Just
Do you know when your face all scrunched up then?
Yeah.
All I could see was bad manners.
Yeah. It was funny that I used to be a bit of a singer.
Hello,
I'll beat you when Luke puts me on screen. I'll beat you. The £100,000 that you've raised for charity, it's things like that the metal detecting community it doesn't get told enough in the in popular media. The likes of the money that Detectival raises, the Rodney Cook raises, that yourself raise, and all these other little individual groups that do things for charity, these don't get told. It's all in your face when whatever the Facebook page had a little rant about this being all your thingies going to your signing's been thingied by a DNS thing, and you know it's and the media likes to jump on the back with all the night talking, but the good tales don't get told, and I think it's fantastic that you've done that. You've raised that amount of money, and I'll be honest, Malcolm, I've never heard of you before, so I've never heard you going, "Oh, look at me! I've raised £100,000 for charity." So much respect for that young man. And I was going to call you Buster Blood Vessel then, but I won't. I might call you Butterbean later, but I'll stop myself doing that as well. So back to the injuries at Detectival. You've been involved in that from the start, you said. And tell me about this broken leg incident. We won't embarrass anybody, but what actually happened there?
Well, basically, we packed all our gear away, the tent and everything. We were ready to go. In fact, I think I was on my way over to Mark to say we'll see you next year and, you know, all that. And then all of a sudden, this foreign chap from, I think he was from Belgium or somewhere, come running over. He said, my friend, he's hurt his leg. So we jumped on one of the backhoe things they got and we sped across this field. And this chap had decided it'd be a good idea to go metal detecting on a slope with a load of pine needles, which were wet, where he shouldn't have been anyway. And what had happened is he slipped and he'd heard a crack. He thought it was his metal detector, but it wasn't. It was his leg had snapped, basically.
Was his metal detector all right?
Yeah, his metal detector was fine.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, we had to call, obviously, the emergency services. Glenn stayed with the chap while I directed the ambulance in off the main road. The ambulance got there and they said, look, we're going to have to call the fire brigade because of where he was in like the middle of the woods. You couldn't get a stretcher up to him because there was loads of these little saplings in the way and the barbed wire fence, which we had to cut, which Mark wasn't very pleased about when I told him, but it had to be done to get the chap out. And apparently we met up with this guy, where was that? A year later on another weekend that we were doing first aid for the chap. And he'd come up and said, oh, thank you so much for all your help and all that. And he said he was in hospital and he had to have an operation and all sorts of stuff before he went back home to Belgium. He was off work for 6 months, I think, wasn't he? Something like that, yeah.
I hope he didn't have any metal in his leg.
Yeah, I was thinking
that's buggered his metal detecting up if he has, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm on form tonight, Mark, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm going to hand you over to Adrian because at this point, Adrian has usually got a list of questions that I haven't asked, and he's better than me with questions. So go on, Adrian.
Well, no, I just think what you were saying, Dave, it's a valid point. People only like hearing bad news, don't they? And stuff like this, raising money in our hobby, is brilliant. And I think it goes on a lot more than we hear about. And hats off to Malcolm for, like you say, not creating Malcolm, I saved loads of people's lives and make it better webpage with pictures of him with like all money around him and checks, but just doing it in the background silently because I've never heard of you, Malcolm, and Dave hadn't. What drives you to do this, Malcolm?
Adrian, I'm on this side, not that side, mate. You've just pointed the wrong way.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not. You said the other way. That's Chris.
What is it that way? Or that way?
That's Chris.
And what drives you, Malcolm, to do this? Is it something you've always, like, deep down wanted?
Yeah, I've always, ever since I was a child, I think that my first ever charity event was when I was about 9. I took my record player into school, put some records on at lunchtime. I think they all paid about 5p to get in. And then all the money went to, I don't know what it was now. It's such a long time ago. It's nearly 50 years ago now. So, yeah. And then ever since then, I mean, when I was in the band and we were playing all over the place, we used to, we often do gigs for little known charities. Like there was a charity years ago called Deborah. I think they're a bit bigger now, but they were just in their early stages and we raised, a few hundred quid for them. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people that if someone is less fortunate than myself, and you can help them in any way, then do it. You know, it's just the way I am. It's the way it's in my blood. I love doing it. I don't, like you say, I don't go around blowing my own trumpet a lot. I mean, I do the odd piece in the Searcher magazine about our digs and stuff, but that's just to get the people who attend the digs names in the Searcher magazine, basically. But no, it's not. You know, it's. I just do it for the love of it, you know. And the same with Glenda. I mean, Glenda makes loads of cakes, which she brings along, and
I like cakes.
Oh God. Dave pipes up.
Dave loves cakes.
I love cakes. Listen, turn your camera a little bit.
I just say, right, that Malcolm and Glenda are two of the bestest people I know in this hobby. What Malcolm and Glenda do, Glenda's hiding somewhere because I heard her over there, but what Malcolm and Glenda do and the money that they raised is outstanding. And I take my hat off to them. You do an outstanding job, mate, and so does Glenda. You raise loads of money for loads of great causes, and you are a perfect example of what the hobby should be about and how we should all try to do a little bit for those less fortunate, you know. So, yeah, brilliant, mate. Well done to you. And thank you for all your help in the past, by the way. And Glenda, well done. Thank you.
Yeah, come on, introduce us to Glenda. Don't be shy.
She might come over.
Come on,
she's going to come over.
Come on.
Where
she
is
did in a
Glenda?
Searcher magazine. She could come on telly.
She is the
Here she is.
Hey!
Hiya, Glenda.
Those two are the loveliest people I am fortunate enough to know. So,
Thank you,
done,
Mark.
you two.
It's only because I try my cakes out on you.
I love your cakes.
And now you know me, Glenda, and I like cakes.
Dave loves cakes.
If Steve Pettigan's in the room, Steve Pettigan owes me Welsh cakes.
Welsh cake.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you both, Malcolm and Glenda. So we'll let you go. And just to let people know again, what's the name of the group?
Dorset and West Pathfinders.
Marvellous. And we wish you all the very best for the future with the group and making money for charity, and also for Christmas and the New Year.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Pleasure to meet you.
Happy Christmas.
Good night.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
You too. Good night. So that was Malcolm and Glenda Andrews from, I'm looking at my paperwork here, the Dorset and West Pathfinders. Exceptional, interesting story. Because you don't, things like that about people breaking the legs on digs and that, I'm sure it happens all the time, but you don't hear them tales, do you?
No, I mean, our hobby can be dangerous. I quite often, like I said months back, I fall in ditches quite often and over gates and in stinging nettles. And you get people who do go up slopes and down streams. Things can go wrong, but yeah, it's quite, dangerous sometimes when you think about it, when we go out in the field, especially if you go out on your own. Anything could happen. Really.
That's the thing. When I first started detecting personally, Adrian, I always tried to go with somebody with me. And I'd always have a walkie-talkie just in case, because, how often have you been with one of your mates and they've been about 2.5 miles away? So, just to check on them. But the other thing regarding metal detectorists, why on earth do we wear camo when we blend in with the scenery? So if you fall and hurt yourself, wear high-vis. I've always got my high-vis jacket on when I'm out.
Well, the farm or the landowner of my largest permission has said, never wear camo. I do not want you wearing camo. Probably because he has shooting on there, but he says, I don't want camo. So I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. He's got a thing about it. But yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. I suppose you blend in, and because quite often if you're detecting near a road, you sort of like, detecting away, and then suddenly you see cars go past, people like nearly crashing. So I suppose if you blended in, it'd be better. But yeah, I suppose the main reason is because the stuff's durable, hard wearing, waterproof, and comfortable.
And you've got millions of pockets in it as well.
Yeah.
My current high vis, me and the Archeo boy, were both sent to us by Graham Dempsey of the Composite Cleaning Pencil Company. So beautiful light blue ones, very sexy, very fetching.
Thought you'd have pink.
What's that? Oh, right. Well, I keep getting told in reality it looks ginger. I think I'm colourblind. I don't. Is it blending with that? There you are. Same colour as Big. I'm wondering if Mr. Peter Turrell is there. In fact, Luke, if Pete is in the background, you could play the promo. If not, we'll just carry on chunnering between ourselves. Yes, we're carrying on chunnering between. And here he is with Camo.
Yeah, I thought that was very apt. I heard you chatting away and thought, gosh, I'll go and get changed quick.
But we can't see you now.
I know. I blend in. You can just see my head.
I tell you what, Pete, that's the first time I've actually seen your head. You've normally got a peak cap on.
Well, do you know what? I've been doing DIY haircuts for myself.
So that's why you've had a hat on.
Actually, you get a good view on here. It's not too bad. How's things?
Good. How's yourself?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's been a strange year, but we're nearly at the end. Next year can't be as bad.
Well, let's cross our fingers there. I take it, obviously, with the whole pandemic, a lot of things have changed for you as you work as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, March was, it was nuts. I think a lot of business owners would say when March came around, no one really knew what the heck was going on. Within 24 hours, we were working from home, which when you run a business that sends things out to customers is difficult. But yeah, it's been a year of change, but also of opportunity, actually. So we've had an opportunity to have a really good look at the business and just change the way we do a lot of things. So yeah, it's been different. It's been an experience, not one that I want to do every year, that's for sure.
Now, something I wanted to raise with you this afternoon, Pete. I've kept it for the show because I didn't want to actually ask you before the show. But what we heard earlier about the Facebook page that was adding maliciousness and intent onto their page about the virtual detectable, you've yourself experienced something not so much dissimilar, but scammy anyway this week, haven't you?
Yeah, there's some odd people in this world, Dave. So we've had a competition running this week where you can win a PlayStation 5. Thought it'd be not quite nice coming up to Christmas. They're hard to get hold of. I thank Luke for managing to help me source one with his contacts. But yeah, put it up on the page. And then over this weekend, we've had a few people that have, scammers essentially from an obscure country, adding people telling them they want a PS5, give us all your details and we'll send it out to you. Yeah, I don't know what all that's about, but as quick as we can report them, block them, they just set up another one. So if anyone gets an odd friend request from LP-metal detecting, strange capital letters all over the place, it's not us. We run a business page. We can't ask you your friendship. It's not the way it works. So the competition is due to run until Friday. So there's no way we can give it away until then in any case. So no.
And then I take it it'll be direct from yourself or from the company, obviously email if that person's on your system anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a proper message from the LP page, not someone that's based in Uganda or wherever they're from. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know.
Borat land.
Yeah, it's been a strange one. I mean, we should probably be quite flattered everyone wants to be us, but I don't know. Odd people.
They certainly are.
Mm.
Adrian.
Yes? Sorry.
Any questions for Pete?
No, I was just thinking about that scam with the PS5. It's, I think, I hope and I would have thought it wasn't targeted directly at LP at all. It's just that everyone wants a PS5. It's in demand, and certain hackers and scammers have cottoned onto it and found out. But
yeah, well, I had a look at one of the pages, and they were actually doing it with so many different companies. There was one giving away, I think it was like a chocolate hamper or something, and they joined that one and doing the same thing. So no, not exclusive to us. It's just Facebook, who aren't very quick at responding to requests.
Anything.
But
no,
it is what it is. But I think it's the same as anything online. Just use some common sense. You know, if you get a request saying that you've run a prize, can we have your credit card details? Then I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Pete, two things. Firstly, I like chocolate. Secondly, have I told you that we've got an app?
I've heard it mentioned, and I don't drink, so it's cola or Lucozade tonight.
Cola or shampoo, whatever's closest.
Yeah.
So, how's business been over the past few weeks? You've had Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Green Lantern Thursday, all sorts of things going on.
Yeah. So, this year's been nuts because of the pandemic. I mean, we were quite fortunately placed that a lot of our business has been online anyway, historically, because there aren't that many dealers in the country. The chance of you popping into a showroom are quite slim. So the vast majority of our business came from online anyway. So fortunate in that respect. But what it's meant is that this year's Black Friday, huge online shopping week, was just mega. Just ridiculous. So we actually ran a week this year to try to spread out the bulk. We didn't want it all landing at the weekend, not just for us, but couriers as well. They're starting to groan under the weight of deliveries going out. So, it's been hectic, and it's still going on. But November, December is always busy, but this year, busier for sure.
When you mentioned about couriers and what have you, it's just a public notification, really. I've got a close friend who's in the postal service, and this past week, and for the next few days, they've had 12 actual people who put the post through your door and take the packages out off. And that's just in Ellesmere Port alone. So take into account the whole of the country. And when it's coming to, I'm waiting for several things from Turkey that haven't arrived. So if you are waiting, just take a bit of care. And if you are ordering from Pete, even though he'll say your last delivery would be on the
day before Christmas Eve, technically, but I wouldn't leave it that late just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. This time of the year, with everything that's going on, I'd get it placed by the weekend if I were you. Make his life a little bit.
I'd also point out, if we sell out the product that you want the day before Christmas Eve, that's not actually our fault. It's best to get your order in a little bit sooner.
Beat the maddening rush.
Yeah.
What's been the most popular machines this sort of just coming up to Christmas, Pete?
To be honest, the ones that you'd expect, Adrian, so Simplex, Vanquish, Mini, MIDI, Horde. But we're still seeing a lot of people. So every year we see a switch this time of year where we have the phrase, you work 10 times as hard to make the same amount of money. So you're sending out 10 beginners machines rather than one Equinox, for example. But this year we haven't seen that so much. There's still a lot of people out there treating themselves to Equinox, RX, Deus, Amphibio, Cruiser. But certainly the beginner range, Garrett Ace, Simplex, Vanquish, Mini MIDI this year. For sure, in terms of machines.
Have you had many sort of people, because of lockdown and people getting out more, walking more, have you had many people phoning up saying, I want to metal detect, I've never done it before, or I used to metal detect and I want to get back in the hobby? Have you noticed a trend?
We had a lot during lockdown. There's been a huge influx this year. A lot of people stuck at home with their kids, homeschooling, that have got, I don't know, a decent amount of land that they own, and they were suddenly stuck at home with kids and wanting to get them out of the house. So detecting with the social distancing, it's really taken off. So for the hobby, it's been actually quite buoyant with people coming in, which is good for us dealers, maybe not so good for the people that are having to share permissions with some of them. But there's been a lot of people coming into the hobby, and we've seen that again this Christmas. A lot of people getting into it for the first time, beach detecting in particular. I don't know whether that was due to lockdown too, and everyone saw thousands of people detecting because that's where you had to do it, but different story.
You know, when you say lockdown 2, I have to automatically say electric boogaloo. So when you say lockdown 2 again, make sure you paraphrase electric boogaloo. Always makes sense. And only people of our generation will probably understand what I'm on about there as well.
Well, I'm not including myself in your generation then, because I ain't got a clue what you're chatting about.
You've never seen Breakdance 2, Electric Boogaloo?
No, I haven't.
Good film. Well, it was.
Although I did like the Back to the Future
in the 80s.
That's my thing.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying about people. The reason I asked that question is where I work. I bring a detector into work. I don't know, whatever machine it is, update the software in my lunch break. And I had 3 people at my work come up to me and say, I've always wanted to do metal detecting. 2 of them actually purchased from you, Pete, because for one reason or whatever. And the other person went on the internet and bought one from a non-UK approved trade site. And the person who bought the machine that was 100 quid that goes down 56 inches and the battery lasts 7 days bought a load of old tripe and it put them off the hobby. And I said to him, look, I won't even say where they got it from or what machine it was, but it was something which no one in the UK would sell. And it was awful. It wouldn't even pick a 2p piece up from an inch. And it was rubbish. And I said, you need to go to a proper dealer. And I think that's one sad side of the hobby is when people don't go, they think they're getting a bargain from a certain site and they're not. And do you get often people phone up and say, I've got this, I can't say it because I'll be politically incorrect, machine. What would you recommend? Do you find that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we get a lot of that, whether it's on the online chat or on the phone lines that... And you're right, people do get put off the hobby by purchasing a load of junk to try and save a couple of quid. And it's a false economy because you then end up, well, hopefully buying another one if you haven't completely been put off the hobby. But yeah, we get a lot of that where people will go onto Amazon, eBay, Wish now, or a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad would pop up of this amazing machine for 20 quid that would detect at 3 meters. I mean, who's going to dig a 3 meter hole to find a target? But they don't think that part through. And it's just a load of old tat when they get it. But
yeah,
whoever your favourite dealer is, get them onto a dealer because that's what we're there for. That's where the knowledge is. And I think I speak to everyone, for everyone, that we'd always set them right. So we're not in the business to sell everyone an Equinox or a Deus. If Simplex or a Vanquish or a Garrett Ace 150 is the right machine, that's what we sell them because you gain that customer for life rather than selling them the wrong product. So yeah, definitely get them in touch with a dealer without a doubt.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Thanks for that.
You mentioned about the mini and the MIDI hoods. Obviously, you're the importer for the UK. Have they taken off as much as, well, more or less or as expected?
Yeah, it's been difficult, Dave, to be brutally honest, because really that price-pointed product isn't really for the detecting market. So, okay, there's going to be detectorists out there that might buy them for their grandkids or their children. I know, in case your son's listening, you may or may not have purchased one for someone. Who knows? So, yeah, there's that aspect. But really, that's a product that potentially would be on your high street to get people into the hobby but get them into the hobby with the right machine to start with. So we know Argos sell National Geographic products, but they're not quite what I would want people to have their first experience of the hobby for, especially a child with a short attention span. You need the right machine for them. So with COVID this year, it's kind of been a bit of a pain to have a product launch of that sort of product this year. But yeah, it's going fine. But I think there's much greater scope next year for broadening the reach of that one. But yeah, we'll see. It's doing good though. It's a good product, especially for the price point.
Definitely. Yeah. I can't wait to hold on. Can't wait to go out on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got him yet, but we will have in Gary Blackwell will be joining us in a wee while as well from XP.
He's waiting for you.
He is waiting for us. If you saw Mark on his phone, that was me texting Mark because
and me texting
when
Gary.
we were sorting out the show last night, we coming on at the start of the show, we're all having a nice little chat, and Gary Blackwell popped up, and I'm like, is that Gary Blackwell?
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Good evening, Gary.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Sorry about yesterday. I was a bit premature.
It wasn't your fault because you came to the right link. So it must have been somebody else who had messaged you, who'd given you that information incorrectly in the first place. That's all. I can't, for the life of me, think, "Hi, Mark, you're all right. He's back now."
I'm back.
Not at all.
Evening, Gary.
Hello,
Pete. How are you, by the way?
You did text me the right day, but you know sometimes you speed read these messages and get something in your head. Well, I had Saturday in my head, so
Karen
my
gave me
apologies, everyone.
a kick up the bum because she thought I'd sent you the wrong day. She knows what I'm like with these. So I had to look at it and go, no, honestly, look, I sent you the right day.
It's always worth testing you out, Mark. It's always worth it.
Thanks.
Well, we've been talking anyway, Gary, with Pete and other people throughout the weekend. Michelle Myers from Mine Lab and Dilek from Knock the Macro, etc. Shut up, woman. And all the other people. And basically, one of our main questions is the COVID-19. How has it affected, the pandemic has affected yourself and XP as a company with everything that's been going on in the world?
Well, when we were totally locked down, that was kind of difficult getting out there and doing your videos and things like that. But the sales side of things is just phenomenal. I spoke to the guys at XP and they said, we're just exceeding all our expectations, even though there's a COVID on. So I really don't know why. I think a lot of people are just going out there and buying detectors because they've perhaps got a bit of free time on their hands. Maybe they've got a bit of money under the furlough scheme and thought, well, I'll buy a detector instead of feeding the family. You just don't know. There's so many different scenarios. But, you know, even the interaction with the new users, it's just gone ballistic. So, yeah, it's not really affected us in that sense. I think maybe the long term it may affect us slightly, you know, getting sort of raw materials to make the stuff with. But at the moment, we're still going on quite well.
Fantastic. Have I also, I don't know if you're aware, Gary, but we've actually got an app now.
Oh.
Come on, everybody, take your drink.
I'm drinking.
Oh, he's on the Lucasade.
I thought that was sun cream for a minute.
Dave, where's your drink?
That's it, mate. I don't have to. I don't have to do it. I just have to orchestrate.
So do we have to take a drink and then bang it on the table afterwards?
Best dad. Hold on, let's just try it. Gary, do you know we've got an app? Marvellous. Not that soft. Marvellous. So what else has been going on with XP? Have we got anything new to look forward to in the future? Obviously, we're not going to ask you any specifics.
Yeah, we've just done the Gold Pan launch. That's more for the overseas side of things. That's gone really well. I think the next thing to come out's probably going to be the Go Terrain app. I'm working really hard on that, and I think they're getting quite close. So that's probably going to be the latest thing from what I can make out. We have got another machine in the pipeline. There's no big secret there. But I don't think they're going to be releasing things like that when there's a pandemic going on. They're probably going to wait till after it's all calmed down a little bit and then start talking about it. But this new machine, I've been told isn't replacing the Deus. So they're going to still keep selling the Deus and the ORX plus the new machine.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting. I mean, there's somebody's just asked in the comments about do Mark and Pete and obviously Gary as well and myself think that Spring Detectival will be going ahead at this point?
Yeah, I do. I'm really optimistic about it.
Mark and Pete?
Yes, I'm at the precise moment in time, I'm still quite optimistic as well. So I'm keeping everything crossed. I want us all to get back out into the field and just do the real thing. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Personally, I want Spring Detectival to take place because I know exactly where it was and it's not far away from my house, so I'm happy with that. I come home every night.
That was Summer Detectival.
No, that was Spring Detectival.
No, it wasn't. It was Summer, because you're up north, aren't you?
The one in Wales, wasn't that Spring?
That's Summer.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Summer.
That was July.
Summer. Even
that was
better.
July.
Summer, I'll sleep in my car again. I'm happy with that. Adrian, have you got any questions to be going on with for Gary?
Yeah, just a quick question regarding the ORX, Gary. It seems quite a popular machine. I know a few people who've bought them and they're quite happy with them because it's a very good price point. Is that still doing well?
Absolutely, it's doing really well. It's even bigger overseas in sort of Russia, China, those sort of places. But from a UK perspective, it's a powerful machine. It's pretty much a switch on and go. And also you've got the gold hunting side of things with the gold programs for the Australian market, the African market and things like that. So it's a little bit for everyone, that machine. It's a good introduction to the hobby. And I think once you start using these top-end machines, I heard Pete talking about them a little bit earlier, you know, people do get caught out when they're buying their first machine because they tend to read the adverts and, like he quite rightly said, you know, machines that claim 2 meters depth on the target should be avoided. So a lot of people do make this terrible mistake. I remember sort of years back when I bought my first detector, there was so many adverts in the magazine, I just ended up being confused with what one to go for. And of course, a lot of the time it's budget, isn't it? You know, you think you've got a budget until you actually buy a machine and you think, do you know what, I wish I'd have gone a little bit more and got X, Y, and Z. I think that's a mistake people make as well. But going back to the ORX, yeah, it's a really popular machine. The Deus has got a lot more going for it, as you guys know. If you're a bit of a button presser like myself, it's probably the better option because you can then evolve with the machine. But the ORX is a good stand-alone machine for people who don't want to get too involved with the technical side of it all.
Yeah. And also the rucksack that was launched this year. Is there any other plans to bring out any other sort of accessories from XP?
Not that I know of, but of course, with this pandemic, I've not been going over to the office, so I'm really not up to speed on what they're thinking about at this moment in time. So perhaps they are, but until I go over there into the secret den and see what prototypes there are on being in the dark.
Right.
I'm just going to interject for a moment, gentlemen. Mr. Turrell is going to have to leave us momentarily. He's got a very full calendar this evening, no doubt. Yes. So before you go, Pete, have you got anything else you'd like to add for the audience this evening?
Other than thank you very much for supporting us. You know, we're a family business. My dad started the business over 35 years ago now. And for those people that might be in the chat, I know Gaz, Mark will know my dad. He actually officially retires next week. He'll be 66, and that is his official retirement age. So although I bought the business 5-6 years ago, certainly very much still a part of it. But this year, it is his last year. So yeah, it's a big change for LP that he is leaving the business because he did found it and worked hard to make it, you know, what it is. And yeah, without his involvement, I suppose, in his hard work over the preceding 30 years, it wouldn't be where it is now. So, yeah, that's going to be a big change. But otherwise, yeah, thank you very much. We obviously hope you have a great Christmas and New Year. And let's all hope this COVID sods off, because it's getting a bit boring now.
And obviously send all our regards and best wishes to your dad on his retirement as well.
Yes.
Thanks, Pete, as well, for all your help and support, mate.
Oh, you're very welcome, Mark. And I just to touch on Spring Detectival, every Detector I go to, we're really looking forward to it. And it's a weekend of sleeping in a caravan or a van. And when COVID came out, I thought, God, I'm not going to have to do any digs this year. And I've actually really missed it. I never thought I'd be looking forward to sleeping in a caravan for a weekend.
Especially at your height.
I know. I've actually missed the interaction. It's weird. I spent the whole lockdown kind of working from home because we were very careful not to transmit this unknown thing between us in the office. So we did keep very separate. So I had so much time on my own in my house, talking to the dog and the cats. They were fed up of it. So yeah, I just miss catching up with our customers, really, because our showrooms are still closed. So yeah, we're kind of in our own little LP bubble. I know Ash is fed up with me at work. Now I'm back in the office. He wants me to work from home again. But yeah, it's been a weird old year, hasn't it? And I think this weekend has kind of just shown how weird it's been, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Pete. Obviously, we look forward to seeing you again on the show in the new year. And obviously, people who want to go and have a look at any LP products can get them from
lpmetaldetecting.com, or Google it, or, well, everyone should know who we are. What are you talking about?
There might be somebody who's trying to take over your business from Uganda watching and need a bit more information.
Well, you know what? If he throws me enough Ugandan dollars, he can. Yeah, we'll have a chat. Who knows?
It's 5 million Ugandan dollars to the pound at the moment. So,
well, the Barbados sounds quite appealing after the year we've had. So, yeah, who knows?
Well, thank you very much, Pete. We'll let you go. And Luke's going to come back to myself for a moment before we go to adverts, so I can just point everybody again over to Peaky Finders, Metal Detecting Shop and Rally's YouTube account. If you subscribe on there, find the short 22-second video and write on it Mini Horde, and coming up in the very near future, Luke's going to do that draw. Going to go for adverts, and then we'll be back with Gary Blackwell.
Guys, who wants to win a Mini Horde? For your chance to win a Not to Macro Mini Horde, all you have to do is this. Go to our YouTube channel, which is Peaky Finders Metal Detecting Shop and Rallies. And on the video, the competition video, just type in Mini Horde, and that's it. That's all it takes for you to be entered. And then the winner will be revealed tonight on the Big Detecting Show live, which starts at 7:30. So get your entries in. Can't wait to give one of these away. And good luck, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Say good luck. Goodbye and good luck.
I love you.
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Dream.
Welcome back, everyone. I've got a couple of things I've noticed during them commercials then. Firstly, how sexy, again, is the Searchers music? And then, in the Treasure Hunting magazine advert, I don't know who made it, but I spotted a spelling mistake. They don't know how to spell fascinating.
Depends what country you're in.
Well, they've missed the letter S.
Oh, fascinator. It's a hat, isn't it? Maybe they're doing hats.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Oh.
I don't know who made it. I'm just pointing that out for anybody who's listening. Hiya, Adrian. You're right. Love.
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, Dave. Yeah, you're right. Did you enjoy your Finds Identified 2 book?
Oh, mate, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. I said it last night. I've still not got round to writing up a review of it because I've been as busy this past couple of weeks as Diggers Dips and the virtual Detectival team have. It's been a bit manic getting everything online. So
I went to the Treasure Hunting magazine offices this week, and there's only 2 boxes left, but there is more coming in to this week. But it's selling very, very well. A lot of people were buying that book.
I don't know if you noticed last night when we were looking at when Annie Bayard was looking at the images. I was actually trying to refer to them to see the fantail brooch because I couldn't remember seeing one in there, and I just wanted to see if it was there so I could refer back to it in the future. So
what that carefully placed in the back of Gary's picture over there?
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, look. Can you see it?
Somebody else actually noticed, Gary. Is that a CCTV monitor you've got on just beside you?
It is. We live in Hampshire. It's a rough old place.
Yeah, we actually saw somebody. I saw it. Someone else spotted somebody on your CCTV before.
Yeah, we've got to keep our eye on it. You know, we have people stealing Christmas tree lights and things like that.
Joking?
Oh God.
No, joking.
Oh. Nighthawkers.
Lighthawkers.
So, Gary, anyway, moving on with XP. Where am I? I've got it written down. XP Team USA. Obviously, that's been going for a while now, 2, maybe 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And how's it going over in America with the team?
They're doing a really good job. I went over to the States last year, I think it was last year, and went on the Pound the Ground rally with them. And it's only when you get on the rally, you really see what these guys are all about. I mean, they put so much effort into setting up their stand, test beds, put us all to shame, to be fair with you, in the UK. It was brilliant. They had like complimentary teas and coffees for everyone. And they just didn't stop all weekend. But we had a bit of a drama because we got there early and set all our tents up and stuff like that. And then in the night, there was a hurricane which absolutely flattened the site. So to rebuild all the tents and buy a new marquee. And the second night, everyone had their tents up. So we were sort of one step ahead. We sort of lowered ours and made it all stormproof. And everyone else's got wiped out on the second night. Another hurricane struck. So that was an interesting rally. But yeah, the guys at XP Team USA are doing a fantastic job. We've got some water guys on board now who are finding some really, really good stuff. I mean, I've got to get out there and give that a try. And Dave D, Sonia, RC, they've been with us from the word go, and say they just keep doing good stuff.
Yeah. And Dave D, obviously, we need to wish him a happy birthday as well.
Is it his birthday today? Oh, crikey.
So I've just been informed.
Okay, no problem.
Text him quick.
I will do, yeah.
Pound the Ground, that's Nathan from Rhode Island Relics. That's his event, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And Pete Turrell, he was involved with that as well, yeah.
We had Nathan on as a guest not long ago, and absolutely fascinating. I mean, that event is totally different to anything in the UK could offer or has offered up to now.
It was interesting because I don't think the US guys have experienced anything quite that big. So they had what they called a seeded hunt. And some of the stuff they planted, not just tokens, they were genuine finds they planted in these fields. And some of them are what they call bucket listers, some really, really good stuff. So it was an interesting weekend, and also an interesting week for me because obviously visiting the places and that, it was good. We've done some detecting out there in the grounds of a museum, which was pretty cool. We got the owner out, and she's never seen a detector before. And I think her second signal, she found a real, a silver real, which is a bit like our hammered coins. So it's one of those trips that just all fell into place. It was brilliant.
Sounds great. And obviously your trips around the world have been cut a little bit short this year. So let's hope that 2020, what year is it, 21 next year, gets you back and active.
Absolutely, yeah. I've caught up on a few box sets and things like that, and getting fed up with Netflix. So yeah, let's get back out there. Let's see the back of this COVID and just live life again, you know. But the good thing is we're on top of the ground and not below it, and that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a good analogy. And one thing I have found out over the past few weeks, Gary, is that XP and the company and the machines are absolutely massive in the likes of South America and Spain, you know, the Spanish-speaking countries. Yeah. It's easy for us to be in the UK just to think, you know, the metal detecting bubble is in the UK, but it's a massive, massive world out there. And to be honest with you, there's each different country has got its own different demand, what they want out of a metal detector sort of thing, because some countries aren't very sort of rich, so they need to look at a budget. Other countries are mainly searching for gold. So it's interesting to see what other people sort of need in their hobby. For example, France, they don't very often use spades. They use picks, where we wouldn't dream of it over here, would we? So, yeah, it's totally different wherever you go.
Yeah, that always amazes me when I'm watching the likes of Aussie diggers, Aussie gold hunters, sorry, and they're using a pick. And I'm like, what are you doing that for? Could hurt something, you snap it, get a little spade. But then their ground conditions, obviously ours are a lot more moist, and theirs are solid with all the heat. So it does make a little bit of sense, but it's just, what are you doing?
That's right. I was watching one tonight, and the guy had, I think, a 22-inch coil on, and he just found a nice big nugget. Yet the bloke with the 11-inch coil on couldn't even get it, and it was only about 6-7 inches down. So that Australian soil is difficult stuff to get through. It really is.
We were talking about this with Michelle Myers last night about the program itself, and it fascinates me. I couldn't quite comprehend the fact that they're all rigged up with scaffolding to carry the machines. But then having a 22-inch coil on and the size of the battery packs and what have you, it must be some substantial weight.
Oh, absolutely. And in that heat as well, I think I'd spend most of my time looking out for snakes and creepy crawlies. I don't think I'd be a very good sort of guest to go gold hunting in Australia. No.
But then at the total other end of the scale is one of the lightest machines, if not the lightest machine on the market, which is the XP.
It is indeed. It is. Yeah.
And for people like me who are, and I've said it a million times before to you, Gary, people like me who are starting to hurt and creak and what have you, it should be the machine that I'm actually looking at to stop that.
That's a really big plus point with our machines, and we get this feedback so many times. It's light, it goes into the bag, you know, you've not got to mess about with it. And still with the XP wireless headphones, I don't think there's anything which is matched that Bluetooth quality, the actual speed of the Bluetooth, you know, and it all comes together in a good package, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Users of the XP, people who've migrated from other machines, do they find that there's a difficulty to understand the tones? Me personally, I've found it very hard when I've tried somebody else's on. The tones were so different to what I was used to. Is it easy to get used to with the XP?
Well, especially with the Deus, because you've got a lot of different tone adjustments there, so you can tweak the tones to what you want to hear. In fact, I've just done an article for the Searcher magazine, which is probably going to come out in January, about tones and setting the machine up for your ears. And I think what we want out of a machine, the tonal experience, does change as you get older. Like now I'm preferring a higher pitch tone to what I used to. So, you know, our hearing changes, and what we want out of a machine can sometimes be very, very different. If you're coming from a certain machine to a different brand, well, normally they've got a different audio delivery, and it takes you a little bit of time to adjust. Well, it does for me. So, you know, the best machine's really the one you're comfortable with, isn't it, when we go down to the bare bones?
You see what you've just said about writing an article? I think that's what's needed in a lot of cases. It's easy for me to go onto YouTube, but having to listen to somebody on YouTube spout on, I can't sit there and do that, where to actually sit down and read something about the mannerisms of how to actually set up to your individual senses. That's a great help. So I hope that a lot of people will pick up the searcher to investigate that article, certainly. Adrian?
What Gary was saying, a lot of, if you did a demographics on people with the XP Deus, and you saying about complicated to pick up with the tones and that, I see people in their 60s and older using the machine, and I know you're a bit of a technophobe, Dave, but you know, these people at that age, I grew up with computers, and so did you, Dave. These people didn't, and they've managed to pick it up and love it. And because it's lightweight, you can put it in the back of your car and you can get your shopping in. Whereas my car, you can't, because it's full of detectors. But not tonight, if anyone's thinking of trying to break into it. But yeah, it's a machine that has become very popular, and I think the ORX as well has got a lot more people interested because it's easier to use. Starting out, but I have had a question from someone who's just sent me a text. I think I know the answer, Gary, but I'll ask you. He's asked, what is the deepest mode on the ORX?
The Goldfield mode. But when we talk about deepest, it's going deep is a really general subject, isn't it? Are you going deep on a cut quarter, or are you going deep on a Volkswagen Beetle? It really does make a difference to your desired target. So there's not one general deep setting, but if you're looking for a deep hoard, I'd say use the Goldfield program, one of the program 1 or program 2, which are the gold programs. If you're on the Deus, program number 10. So if you want to go deep on cut halves, well, probably Coin Fast to be your deepest program. So you've got to really have a little think about what your desired target is, and indeed your soil conditions.
Okay, thanks for answering that. That was Dean. And I think you should mention your YouTube channel, because I subscribe to it and I love watching it. Really good little channel, if you want to mention that.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is the Metal Detecting Skill School. It's been going for over 10 years. Username Gardansolin, Gardansolyn. I give it, the name is the family's names, Gary, Dan, Sophie, Lynn, and that's how far back it goes. So that's why I ended up with Gardansolin. I never changed it. If you go back in the archives, sort of 10 odd years ago, I've done lots and lots of different videos there. And didn't appear on camera, didn't like going on camera, but I thought, well, as things evolve, you've got to go in front of the camera at some point. So when I joined up with the XP team, I decided to go in front of the camera then, and the videos got a bit better. But no, I love doing the videos. I tend to do the more, what's the word for it? Professional videos for the XP official YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel, Gardansolin, is a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more humour thrown in occasionally. So it's two different types of metal detecting channels if you want, but they're all based around the same subject.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like the one you did the other week. A friend of yours had trouble in the field and you went and helped him with his settings. I can't remember. That's nice to watch, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Helping out other people. And it's a good video to watch if anyone's. Is that on your channel or is that on the XP?
No, that's on the XP channel. I've done the guy's Paul Bancroft. He's got some really nice land. It's difficult land. And I just went over, and it took a little bit of working out actually, but we got there in the end, and he's having some great results now. So that's over on the XP channel. That's one of the better videos. So that goes over that direction. So
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Well, I know we've got a certain other gentleman now waiting in the wings to come on board this evening. And let's play the promo, Luke. Hello, Julian.
What is a crafty cup of tea swig there?
Are you
How's
well?
everyone doing? Good evening to everyone.
I'm good. How are
listening.
you?
Hi, Jones.
You all right, mate?
Not so bad, sir. Not so bad at all. Despite having put on what appears to be another chin.
You see, that's the pleasure of coming on live TV streams. You get to see what you look like outside of the bedroom.
Absolutely. No photoshopping my beauty here, is there? Not at all, lads.
No, Adrian. You're not Adrian. You're Julian. If Luke could just bring me back onto the screen for one moment, I just want to point something out. And it's the correct spelling of the word fascinating, which is a fascinating word. I just wanted to point that out because some people I've noticed have an issue with the English language sometimes.
A typo. Yeah, all right, Dave. Person who never made any mistakes, never made anything. So
I make loads of mistakes, mate. I am a mistake.
After what's been going on this weekend, this year, everything. Yeah, it's all this gremlins in the internet's webs. Yeah.
It's all in jest. So, Julian, how is the World of Treasure Hunting magazine?
Well, I must say, I would like to say at this stage, despite this being, God, what does one describe it as this year? I've certainly never lived through anything like it, and I don't think anyone in the world has. It's very busy. I'd love to just express my real thank you to people who have got a lot on their plate at the moment in a wide variety of aspects, job loss, being furloughed, health issues, and yet this year, the amount of work coming through to the magazine is absolutely amazing, and even on a normal year, not a new normal year, but a normal year, I always look and think, what a great, marvellous honour this is to see people's finds. It's like being out there all over Europe with these guys and ladies, making the finds. They take the time to phone me, email me, and do anything. And, it's very difficult for me, man, a few words. That was sarcasm, by the way. To express my real thanks to the dedication of people who take that time. I can never express that bigly or largely enough. It's absolutely marvellous. So thank you to everybody that's keeping me extremely busy at the moment.
And yes, you are busy. You're obviously involved with something else which will be coming on the show. I think it's the end of January we booked you in, which you're going to be talking about the Underground History Show. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll talk about that a bit later and obviously tell the viewers about that, because I'm sure
most of them won't have a clue about what I'm talking about. So we'll keep that for the time being. But obviously, Adrian, you work very closely with Julian at Treasure Hunting magazine, and I'm sure you can also attest to the amount of articles that are coming through currently.
Yeah, I think Jules, every time I speak to him, he's been on the phone to someone for like an hour and a half, which is strange for Jules because he doesn't like talking much. But I know for a fact, talking to him and Dan, that there has been an absolute huge influx of people submitting stuff into the magazine. We had the Hoard the other week, which is in this month's magazine, which, you know, is potentially the largest gold hoard of status found in British history. Am I right, Jules?
We don't quite know the exact finite number of status involved.
Right.
From the figures quoted, yes. Could there be more once they've been cleaned? Highly likely, of course. So we don't have a real, truly established figure. But talking about figures, I will say, Adrian and guys, yeah, I do love my old Facebook, as many people will know. But that post that we engineered from the discovery of that hoard, I don't know whether it got nearly 2 million hits. You know, I've never done a post like that. And I will say, just as a little bit of a teaser, if you guys think that was good, then you want to see what we have in the next issue. Another find sent in by another gentleman, and it's the Stater hoard is beautiful. This object is just absolutely amazing. But I shall say no more. Tempted to.
Oh, you big tease. You're like one of them French ladies there.
Yeah, what a Coronation Street cliffhanger there, really, isn't it? But yeah, no, you will all see very shortly, guys. An absolutely mind-blowing discovery. But you know, this is something that I've always been interested in. These discoveries like this come along comparatively rarely, and the general philosophy that I have in this hobby after nearly 50 years is, you know what, the definition of treasure. A lot of people don't like that word. You know, it's associated with pirate chests, and people seem not to like the word treasure. But for me, that word sums up everything from Grandad taking his grandson out the very first time with maybe, you know, an inexpensive model, and that little girl finds their first Victorian penny. If you encounter that, or that's the sort of thing you do, send these stories in, because this and that are the hobby. The hoards are fantastic, but they are but a small picture of the shotgun tips, the bullets that we find, you know, and even the bullets and the shotgun tips in their time will have a tale to tell. And it's up to us guys to find such things and tell it. So, you know, the definition of treasure for me, my most favorite object in my entire collection, which consists of gold coins, silver coins, is a 303 bullet. You know, to me, that is my ultimate treasure, because 103 years ago, that very bullet was used to shoot, well, was one of the bullets that shot down a Zeppelin. So it just puts it into context. There is no definable word, treasure. It covers such a wide thing, but don't ever fall into the trap of thinking it's always silver and gold. It's not. If that's your first fibula brooch that you've ever found, that's treasure. Absolute treasure.
Yeah, well said. It's true.
And where was I going with that conversation track? I don't know. Jules just rambled on.
Rob Random in the comments, Jules, has actually found out what's in the magazine next month. Rob Random's quoted Crashed UFO, which he's obviously found out.
Yeah, but underneath the wreck of the Titanic, no doubt. But,
yeah.
Well, it's crashed UFO. Oh, stuff of dreams, eh? Oh, that's going to get me on a random topic again. Right, rein me in, gentlemen. Rein me in.
So me and you can have that conversation. That's one of my former passions. There's been books and programs done about that by my good self, and we'll chat one day, Julian. I'm sure.
I think we did a few months ago, if not a year ago. And Dave, wow.
Well, we discovered the paranormal show, didn't we?
We did, which was brilliant. But anytime you want to, you know, a private conversation or whatever, a phone call, whatever, get me on that subject. Absolutely love it, mate. Absolutely love it.
Well, we won't go there this evening because everybody's
No,
here to
better
know
not.
about other things.
We'll go random again.
Gary, I've got a question for you. Obviously, you've seen a lot of the whole world of XP's finds, and from all of them that you've seen, what would be the most significant find by an XP machine that you've been privy to?
Put me on the spot there because you know I've got a shocking memory. Well, do you know what? I just don't know. I know the Jersey Hoard wasn't found by an XP machine, but after they'd been detecting the small area the hoard was found and declared nothing was there, it was nice to go on with an XP and find 11 hoard coins before lunch. That
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. Reg phoned us up and said, look, we've done this little hoard patch to death. We've been doing it for 8 years. Bring a Deus over and give it a try. And say by lunchtime we had 11 coins. We got a video on the XP website about the Jersey Hoard, and that was pretty good. Just to know that you've gone there on the mopping up mission, and it's just jumping out of the ground still. That was pretty good. I think they were called Corosolites. They were Celtic silver coins. It was quite a nice coin actually, but they didn't look very good when they come out of the ground, but they cleaned them all up in the museum and they really did come up nicely. But XP finds, well, we've got I can't remember the guy's name now. He found the Saxon hoard, didn't he, a few years ago on I think was it a Weekend Wanderers dig up in Aylesbury. Paul Coleman, there you go. Now that was an unbelievable find.
Edinburgh Hoard.
Yeah, well done, Mark.
Weekend Wanderers.
That's it.
Christmas gig.
That was amazing, yeah. And and Dan had a nice little silver hoard. We went down there and saw him dig it out. That was down in the West Country, Somerset way. That was brilliant. That was the same weekend that Roman pig was found, the big lead pig, Dan Stevenson. So, there's been some really nice experiences watching these hoards come out. But of course, they're coming out all the time, aren't they? Like Jules just said in his magazine, they're just popping out left, right and centre, it seems, at the moment.
We've got a question that I think everybody can answer from, I can't say his name because he's Digger from Russia anyway. So he says, guys, how often do you come across meteorites and incomprehensible stones that, when cracked, turned out to be nuggets or incomprehensible charred precious alloys? So let's go for the meteorites first. What's the how many meteorites are generally found, or you could presume are meteorites by metal detectorists?
Very rarely hear about that. Very rarely. So. Yeah, because the meteorite signal would be very close to hot rock. So, your normal machine, if you're running at the normal ground balance, is just going to ground balance it out, because we tend to run a higher ground balance just to eliminate those hot rocks, because they just drive you bonkers. There's so many in each field, and especially on the gold fields, it's full of hot rocks. So that's close to your meteorite. But I found quite a few stones which, you've got a question mark on them, some of them, but what do you do?
Yeah. Well, if anybody else found a meteorite, get in touch with Jules. I'm sure he'd like that story. Some good pictures there, Jules.
Something extraterrestrial, as they say. That'd be fascinating. It's a subject we not often covered in the hobby. There's queries, is this a hot rock? Is this a meteorite? Most meteorites I know that impact the Earth contain quite a high proportion of ferrite or ferrous-based material. And arguably, if they're shallow depth, any metal detector would pick them up, because you're probably talking of several hundred pounds, sometimes in size, of iron-bearing material, and other alloys as well. But no, fascinating, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, would love to hear from anyone that's found anything like that, or even suspects they have.
Because there must be obviously the weight differential between a potential meteorite in comparison to a hot rock, because the hot rocks generally it's quite light, isn't it?
No,
Well, my
absolutely
experience.
not. No.
Really.
Yeah,
In my experience, whenever I've had them, they've generally been quite light.
No, you're confusing hot rock with Coke, two totally different things. Coke is rejected with the discrimination circuit about 26, 27, and hot rock is rejected by the ground balance surface. If you've got the dais with an XY screen, Coke goes top to bottom, hot rock or your meteorites go left to right. So two different things.
See, I'm showing my intelligence in the metal detecting department there, and I've learned something. So that's always a bonus. So thank you for that question. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't obviously pronounce your name. It's in your Russian typo, so I do apologise there. Adrian, have you got anything?
What? I've dug some rocks kind of that are funny shaped and feel heavier than they should. And where'd you get a meteorite tested.com? I don't know, but me and my mate found one about 6 months ago, and it was very funny. It was almost like leady silver with like little holes in it. And they're worth a lot of money apparently, but I don't know how you get.
There is a Facebook group, right, which someone directed me to a while ago because we were detecting a site, and there's a record of this massive meteorite exploding over this village and showering all the fields. So I was every little bit of bloody weird rock I came across, I was like, oh, it's a meteorite. Oh, it's a meteorite.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a meteorite. And there's a Facebook. There's meteorite or meteor wrong. And if anybody's anything that they think is a meteorite, they can stick it on there, and it's full of all these wonderful experty type people that will go, oh no, that's not a meteorite. And
thanks.
Most of the time.
I'll sit and watch. I'll sign up and go through that with my wife next Saturday night.
Meteorite or meteor wrong, it is, I think it's called. And it's quite good. You just stick a picture up there, and within 10 minutes, some clever git will tell you whether it is or isn't.
Because they're worth a lot of money, some of them.
Yeah.
A lot, thousands.
Depends where it's come from in the universe, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to have it anyway, because, how often do you come across a meteorite? So, it's a good subject brought up. Very good subject brought up.
Absolutely.
One that we haven't had before. Meteorite or meteor wrong. There you go.
You found it.
Well, looking on Google Images now, the meteorites, some of them look very similar to hot rocks. So perhaps, guys, if you want to go out there and look specifically for hot rock, drop your ground balance down to about 84, 85, and then you'll pick up the hot rock. Sometimes you get a double bleep where it nulls in the middle of the signal. So you've got a signal either side and nothing in the middle. That's your typical hot rock signal.
Do you know, this show astounds me with the people I speak to, because I actually, as I say, I learn, but, I'm actually going to go away and look into things. So it spurs me into more learning, which, hey, it's always good. Now, we're just going to go over to Luke for a moment. Luke's got the random number generator lined up for the competition where you for the mini hoard. So he's going to do that. He's going to do the random number, and all the people who have entered have been given a specific number. Luke's going to check that against the random number generator, and we'll find out shortly who the winner is. So here's the random number generator. Look at that. It's already there. So the result is number 62. So Luke will let me know very shortly who that winner is, and we will get that on. So if I can share the screen now, we will follow that competition with another. This is on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine Facebook, on the website, and also on, did you know, Julian, we've got an app?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd avoid that to illustrate how technophobe I am. But congratulations.
I'll
no doubt.
To sort it out.
Yeah, I'll phone you tomorrow, Dave, and you can talk me through it.
Okay, young man. Well, anyway, we can continue in the competition. Tonight's competition if you go to the ArcMD Mag TV YouTube channel, and again, do exactly the same. Subscribe to the channel, and basically for this competition, you're going to win, kindly donated by Scotty B of North of Time Metal Detecting and Detecticon, 2 full weekend camping tickets for Detecticon, taking part from, I've put the 21st to the 23rd. I'm incorrect. It's the 23rd till the 25th of July next year. So very, very simple. Links are on there. Jump onto the YouTube channel for arcmdmag.tv. Don't go to www.arcmdmag.tv because that'll take you to our Netflix type site. But look on YouTube for ArcMD Mag TV, and you'll find that. Subscribe. There's a short video, again, not dissimilar to Luke's, 30-second video that's uploaded this afternoon. Subscribe to the channel, as I say. Write Detecticon in the comments, and we'll do, at the start of the show on Thursday, we will do exactly the same as we've done tonight and announce the winner on Thursday's show this week. So there you go. That's that. Stop sharing. What's Mark smiling at? What are you smiling at?
Karen was just talking about wrapping Christmas presents.
That's not very important, is it? Given Karen yesterday was sat doing a show.
Now she's doing all like Christmassy stuff.
Don't turn it to me, please.
She's like on the Christmassy tip. We're trying to catch up, like, because, well, everybody knows.
I'm only messing, Karen. You crack on with the Christmas wrapping.
Crack on with the Christmas stuff, he
just
says.
wrote Gary's card.
Yeah, you just wrote Gary's card, funnily enough. I was going to say, shall I show it to him now?
Don't lick the envelope because I don't want you passing COVID off to me.
No,
do you know?
Little spongy thing in this day and age, man, you know.
No, you're not, mate.
And marigolds. Spongy thing and marigolds.
How many people are still licking envelopes? And I've not even occurred to me that.
One thing we need to think about, you know, all those licked envelopes coming through our doors.
We're not doing cards this year, so that's it.
Thankfully, we're doing a charitable donation instead, so you won't be getting any of my saliva in the post.
Our Christmas tree managed to stay up today for about 20 minutes. So we dug the Christmas tree out, put it up, and the cat chewed the lights off it. So she said no. So we left it for another 15 minutes, and we went in the room, and the cat had got its all the light wires around its neck, so it was hanging like this. So she said, that's it, tree's down. So we're not even having a tree this year because of these cats. Just eat everything.
Christmas in the Blackwell house then.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant.
Damn cats, damn animals.
No, we can take the dog down the beach Christmas Day. We ain't got to worry about people coming round and eating our food. It's going to be great.
I like cake, you know,
Gary. Far too happy about that, Gary.
I like cake, Gary. Just throw that out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Adrian, have you got any questions for anyone?
Only thanks, Mark, for that website, Facebook thing. I've just had a quick look and subscribed. Proper interesting people. But yeah, I'll post my find up on there in the next day or so. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you'll get an answer quite quickly. As I said, there's a lot of clever bods on there.
Yeah, no, thanks for that.
No worries.
I'll certainly be looking myself.
Yeah. Well, they are worth a lot of money, but I'd like to have one. So,
I wonder if there's a
space rock.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a video on it going out and just looking specifically for hot rocks and just see what we come up with at the end of the day.
Someone detecting somewhere in the desert looking for meteorites. I'm sure I have.
Right, I'll have a look at that.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Not sure what detector they were using.
It's probably a really cheap one that can't that picks up hot rocks because we don't want to pick them up.
On the surface, I guess.
Yeah, true. So no, it's good.
Well, I'm going to now say goodbye to Mr. Blackwell from XP. It's been a pleasure having this evening. And only because we've got two guests coming on momentarily, Adam Staples and Alex Smith.
No, Alan, and he's not.
Alan Smith.
It's
You know what?
Adam's show tonight. It's Adam. Adam is going to be doing his thing tonight. So he's the star because Alan's not very well. He's curled up in bed, feeling all sorry for himself. So I hope Alan gets better if he's watching this. And Adam is coming on his own in a minute. And
Well, you didn't tell me that at the start of this. I'll let you off.
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I texted you. Did I? Didn't I? I might have texted Luke then. And he might not have told you.
Ask Karen to prompt you to check your phone, and she'll say, no, you haven't.
Okay.
There you go. Because Karen prompts you and reminds you things.
Yeah, no, she's saying I did.
I haven't had it.
Maybe it was Luke. Maybe I sent it to Luke.
Anyway, Gary, it's been an absolute
Thank you,
pleasure
guys.
as ever. As I've said to all our guests, we'll give you a shout in the new year and get you lined up to come back on if that's okay with you. And
Definitely.
we'll talk solely about XP. And we maybe even try and get Dave D on alongside you, something like that. And, we'll talk all things XP that night because it's a fascinating bit of technology that has always fascinated me. But as of yet, I've still not had the opportunity to play properly. And I keep threatening to, and one day I will. So thanks for coming on tonight. And on behalf of all the viewers tonight, and obviously on behalf of Mark and Virtual Detectival, thank you as well. Everybody else, would you like to say anything?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Gary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll see you soon, Gary. Gary, before you go.
Before I go, I just want to thank everyone for supporting XP and interacting with us. It's great to get your feedback. It's been brilliant. It's been a miserable year, but it's been a good year looking at it from another angle. So, yeah, thanks to everyone for supporting our products and hopefully see you all again soon. Thanks, guys. Have a brilliant evening. Thanks for inviting me on.
Merry
Look after
Christmas.
yourself.
Have a great Christmas, mate.
Take care.
And that was Gary Blackwell from XP. So we may as well get everybody back on screen, Mr. Luke, and we'll have a chinwag again with Julian about what's going on book-wise with Greenlight Publishing. There he is.
Well, as you know, we've just produced the Finds Identified Mark II, absolutely fabulous book. Not sure if there's a Mark III in the pipeline, but as soon as I get the inkling of that, I'll let everyone know. It's just an amazing publication. No matter whether you're an old hand or you're so new to the hobby, when I had Finds Volume 1, I opened it up and I managed to identify 5 things that have been hanging around in my collection for years. And I thought, you know what? That's great, because I've been around a long old time, but I know nothing when it comes to the great perspective of the picture. We live and learn every single day. And the other side of this thing is, one has to stand back and say, what a marvelous hobby. I mean, Greenlight alone, and I'm sure we're not the only publishers in the world, but certainly one of the biggest on this subject. Every single book that we produce has its roots in the hobby of metal detecting, and what a great contribution to the academic studying of our history, our culture, by enriching people's knowledge. You, in my book, you can't get anything finer that contributes. We all contribute. People look at what we contribute. They compile it together. They study it. There's degrees on the back of metal detecting, and careers are built on the back of metal detecting, mainly sort of in the academic sector. But to be able to be part of that, and we all are, all big brothers and sisters in this unit, what a fantastic thing. And I do say, yes, we have our critics, but I will say, if you're going to have an opinion on something, that's fine. You're entitled to. But actually try the hobby before you knock it. Many of our critics, I shouldn't imagine, have even wielded a metal detector ever. Still entitled to an opinion? Of course you are. But stand back sometimes and have a look what you're criticising. It's a fabulous hobby, a great family hobby, a hobby for all generations, all people. And right now in the present current world, find me a hobby that we don't need like that, each and every one of us. Because to me, and I can be accused of being biased, of course, but really it's just fantastic what this hobby does for people. And we all know the sides of things. Like I saw a post the other day from Joan Allen's making a video documentary style thing, I believe I'm right saying that, on mental health issues, PTSD, sort of drug addiction, and all the things that metal detecting. And I have had experience of the helping aspect of that for people with PTSD and drug addiction. And I've seen the results. And, you know, there really, I don't think, is another hobby so interactive that is so beneficial as the one that we all do. So, you know, great stuff, guys, and long may this always prevail.
Yeah, well said, Jules. I mean, I'm so lucky to enjoy this hobby like you. And in lockdown, there's so many people who couldn't go to football matches, play squash, play snooker, do all those sort of things. Yeah, when we were allowed, you could just get in your car, drive to a nice peaceful field, get away from it all, turn your phone off, and detect. And
that's what people say, don't they?
Yeah,
they disappear from their stresses.
Yeah.
And whatever causes that in your life, you know, if it's metal detecting, carp fishing, or whatever, what a fantastic facility. You know, it's got so many benefits. So hats off to Joan Allen for condensing this information, because that is a valuable thing to be able to witness.
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, you know, and I've mentioned it on the show, my dad passed the other week, and I phoned you up. I was in a bit of a pickle, and I met, you know.
It's what friends are for, sir.
And
you know.
Within 3 days, I was back out on the field and, you know, just enjoying myself and relaxing and putting my head straight.
Adrian, it sounds harsh, but like when you lost your first girlfriend, my mum said to me, "Oh, don't worry about it. Plenty more fish and sea." That's not the last thing you ever want to hear. You know, last thing you ever want to hear. Life must go on. But you know what? It's the truest embracing that you can do as a person. You know, everyone feels for you, mate. We all do. You're in a massive family, absolutely colossal. Yeah. You know, I've seen this happen so many times. Bereavement, problem, somebody puts it up on Facebook, you know, and there's an outpouring of, we're all with you, mate. And that's a lovely aspect.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Certainly are. I've just had to take 5 minutes away from the screen because I inadvertently didn't set my settings right for the video, and nobody could comment on it, but now they can. Anyway, the winner was Luke. If you could scroll the name up on screen for us. The winner of the thing was, the mini hoard was Philip Roberts, as you can see there highlighted. So, Philip, if you'd like to get in contact with myself or with Luke, obviously Luke via the Peaky Finders channel or myself via editor@arcmdmag.com. And one of us will get in sort of you ASAP, and hopefully you get that in time for Christmas. And then you can go out with yourself if you want to play with it. So that's Philip Roberts. Congratulations on winning the mini hoard. And as I said, it's fixed now. The comments on, as you can see in the comments, ArcMDMag TV. That's the channel. Go on there, find a 30-second video, comment on that, and we'll be doing the same on Thursday's show. So you've got a couple of days to subscribe and a couple of days to add DetectorCon into the comments. So thanks all, and again, congratulations to Philip. Now, we're also joined this evening by Mr. Adam Staples, and hopefully he's in the chat in the back room now, in the green room, looking slyly at the camera.
Looks like we can do our UFO talk today.
Oh, Luke's ringing me. I'll go. Yes, Luke. Live. Right, you are. Okay, so. Right, you are. Thank you, Luke, on the phone. Bye now. So, Adam has, unfortunately, he's dropped out of the... Let me just resend the link to Adam, just in case. He's dropped out. He was there, but he's dropped out. So let's talk amongst ourselves.
His laptop has crashed, apparently.
His laptop's crashed. What into?
Oh. Yeah, well, something to do with a meteorite, he said.
He was looking at that page.
Whilst Dan
There's a message that says laptop just crashed, meteorite recon. Or something similar. So, yeah. He'll be back with us in a minute, hopefully.
Marvellous. So, Julian,
this weekend.
Have we got any other publications that are due out in the near future?
Not that I know of. I think everyone is taking a little bit of a respite at the moment. I don't know of anything coming up, but there's always things in the pipeline. You know, as soon as something is out into the market, the team are straight focusing back on to have a look at the next potentials. We do get a lot of communications from would-be authors and hopeful authors, and it's from that these books derive, you know, which is absolutely marvellous. But no, nothing at the moment. The magazine is plodding onwards and gloriousness. So basically over Christmas, I'm concentrating on I'm not going to say catching up, but it's just an amazing amount of work has come in this year.
Can imagine. You have told me that. Now you also, well, here's Adam, but I've just got a question.
Adam.
Evening, Adam.
Hey, hi guys.
Glad to have you back. I'm just about to ask Julian a quick question. Julian, we alluded earlier to the Underground History Show. Can you tell the viewers a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's something that I got involved with about four or 5 months ago, just from an email, and I thought, so I'll check this out. I've been involved, like many of us have, in numerous TV proposals, radio proposals, and 1 out of every 100 sort of bears fruit. I did a sort of involved with a time team a couple of years ago, and I did a BBC Time Watch, which was a Zeppelin. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Looked at the guy's credentials, and I thought, do you know what? This is really fresh and innovative, and I think in our hobby, sometimes that's quite nice, you know, when you can explore. So he just said, I want to tailor a programme for metal detectorists, by metal detectorists, using people who've just been in the hobby 6 months to 50 years. What they've got to do, hints, tips, types, models, again, the detective work necessary for going out, finding new sites, be that Google Earth or old maps or field walking. So we thought we'd cover the whole sort of panacea in one sort of massive attempt. So we're working hard on it. It's really exciting. I'll say it's a great honour to be involved. Some lovely other colleagues working in there. I'm working as one of the key presenters on it, and everything I've seen feels right. You know, it's like when you park your car up and you look through that gate and you think, you get that feeling of a field. You know, that's the only thing I can describe it with. You know, I'm convinced it's going to work out. That's why I'm on board with the team, and I'm absolutely sure it will. And I think detectorists all over the UK are going to really, really love this. It's very, very different. Very different. As I find out more, I'm making the odd posts on Facebook and everything. So as I get more from the directors and we can release, the teaser's already released, about a 2 or 3 minute just taster, and it's going to be rapidly followed by a series of other releases in the next month. So watch this space, guys.
Well, I think that's what we actually need, a decent TV program about metal detecting, something that's discussing metal detecting properly, done properly. So as I said as well, at the end of January, and I think I've been in discussions with Chris, the director, and Chris has obviously said yourself, and probably one of the other lead figures from the show is going to be coming on and discussing all the Underground History Show, and it's around the time that the first episode is possibly going to hit as well. So obviously the viewers will be pointed to that directly then.
Yeah, I'm meeting Chris tomorrow, so if there's anything new that I can release or factual, details about that, then I say just watch the space on Facebook, and I will release it.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to that definitely. So anyway, let's get back to Adam. Adam, delightful to see you. Sorry to hear your computer crashed to a meteorite.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Yeah, slight technical issues. 2020.
You look all bohemian there with that nice wall hanging.
Yeah,
I
think it's actually with not work.
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit, that was all. You done a bit of Norman Collier. I hope you're old enough to understand who he is.
This is my my first time doing it with my laptop. I usually use my phone to stream it, but it's I thought I'd try with my laptop. So hopefully it'll be okay.
Well, obviously, Adam, we like to ask everybody to introduce themselves to viewers. We've got a lot of people from throughout the world, Russia, America, Canada. Just introduce yourself to them if you don't mind.
Right, well, I'm Adam Staples. I've been metal detecting 20 odd years. I'm really into metal detecting. I've done everything from magazine articles, product testing, working with retailers, manufacturers, finding treasure, and currently working at an auction house, cataloguing and valuing coins and antiquities as well.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, a lot of people know you from mainly you found a small hoard last year, the year before last.
Yeah, last year the Chew Valley hoard. Yeah, it was 2,582 Anglo-Saxon and Norman coins, Harold II and William I.
And that was between about 5 of you, am I right in saying?
Well, 7 of us in total.
Sorry.
It was a group of 7 of us. We didn't all find them at the same time. 3 of us were there when we started to find them. The others came over and we made the decision to just share the finder's share between all of us who were there. The landowner gets the other half, obviously.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there are some of the coins. The ones in that picture, if you just want to scroll back up, these are all William I. They're type 1s, but these have got a right-facing bust. Type 1 should have a left-facing bust, and there were only about half a dozen of these right-facing variants known prior to the hoard, and there's 20 of them in this hoard.
Stuff of dreams.
The last one at auction went for £8,000, the last example of these.
Good Lord. So there are 20 of them. Fantastic.
Yeah, and there are also some unknown coins in the hoard. There are 2 coins that have got the bust of Harold on one side and the reverse of William the Conqueror on the other side. So, like Battle of Hastings in a nutshell, and these are totally unknown before the hoard.
Mm. Interestingly, you should mention the Battle of Hastings. We recently had an article submitted to us that was published on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and I can't, at the top of my head, I can't remember who it was. If I flick on there, I'll actually be able to tell you because it's in the it's in one of the. There it is, the Battle of Hastings, 1066, a fresh perspective by Kevin Casey. He's done a hell of a lot of research. I think Luke actually knows him, and he's worked very, very hard. The fascinating article. He's even really researched the Bayeux tapestry, and he believes that he's found a different location to where the battle may have transpired. And they're looking at doing some archaeological work there, and they've also employed the use of metal detectorists as well. So it's interesting, as I say, that you should, and there you go, that you should mention that. I just
I haven't read that, Dave, but I will. I'll get on there after the show and I'll have a quick look at that.
Well, you know what, Adam, by the way, you could actually download the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine app and read it on there on your phone. Have you got a drink there, Adam? Take a swig. Yeah. That's the weekend's game. All of a sudden,
that's news to me, Dave. I wasn't aware that you had an app for the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Is this a recent development?
Thank you for pointing that out. It was actually only Friday night, an hour before the first Detectival show, that it was actually came through on Google. So it's now 48 hours old. So yes, very exciting. And,
is that just for Android as well, or is it for iOS?
It's currently Android, yeah. Scott Holden from Detector Network, he's been working on it and obviously got it through. And it'll be available via iOS next week, I'm told. So very exciting. And I've got to instruct Julian how to find it.
Oh. Send him a fax.
Yeah. Have you got one of them Morse code systems? I'll send you one of them.
Yeah, I probably can dig up an Enigma machine somewhere in this flat.
Nick West will sort you out. Anyway, tonight Adam was coming on along with Alan Smith of Essex Coins, Adam of Hansons Auctioneers, amongst other things. And we've asked, like we did last night with Chip and Annie Bayard, got a thumbs up then, to people on the Big Detecting Show Facebook group to submit their finds for assistance in identification. So I'm going to bring them up now and we'll start working through them. And Adam's also added a number of his own finds in. I've pressed the wrong button. There it is. So Adam's I've put at the end as a nice surprise because there's one absolutely stunning ring to look at. So first and foremost, you can obviously find this on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, archmdmag.com. So you can have a look at this yourself at some point if you want. So this was the first image and it was sent in by Geraint Cooper. Personally, I wouldn't have a clue anyway, but Adam, if you can see that.
Well, yeah, luckily I'm an expert, Dave, and I haven't really got a clue either, to be honest.
And I know you've actually looked at this from the group as well.
I have, yeah. It's very crude. It's possibly a Roman coin. I wouldn't think it's any later than that, but I'm not definite that it is actually a coin.
Yeah. That's the other side of it. Sadly, the image isn't big. I'll have to play with that tomorrow, but that's the other side.
Maybe in the hand it might be more evident what it is, but from that photo, unfortunately, I can't do much help.
So we'll move on from that, Geraint. If you could obviously get us any better images, potentially, I'm sure Adam will look at that. Now, the next one is a number of coins that Jason Jones has sent over. The first images of one side and the second of the other.
Yeah, well, what a great group of coins. And I think maybe Jason had these over one day or one weekend from memory. From the top left, you've got William III. Looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe a sixpence. Venetian Soldino, 15th century coin from Venice that was circulated in England quite prolifically, eventually outlawed to not very much effect.
See, I've learned something again tonight. Didn't know that.
Edward I penny, top right, and then below that is a short cross penny, which is from 1180 through to 1247. I think this one's a Richard I from memory. Then this one is an Ethelred I penny. I think is it a helmet type? I will see when we get to the other side. Yeah. And then finally, bottom left is a quarter stater, which is about 60 to 50 BC, and it's the Trinobantes. It's a Clacton cross type.
So I've actually put these images the wrong way around, haven't I? But you get the grip. Well, Adam's already.
Right. I can see the Ethelred's a long cross type now, not a helmet type.
So some fantastic coins there, nonetheless.
Yeah, beautiful, and especially the quarter stater, really nice Clacton cross.
Beautiful. You see, I've only ever had two hammered. I think it's two. One was a Lizzie, and the other one was a copper coin, which was not really identifiable, but it was saw by the FLO, and said that it was definitely a coppered hammer. So I've not got much in the way of to go at to gauge when it comes to my own. So moving on, Jason again.
Yeah, this one is Henry I penny. So this is early 12th century. And I actually remember this coin from when Jason found it. It's annulets and piles type. And it was minted in Norwich. It's the first example of this particular money for this type that's been recorded with the early medieval corpus.
Now, before you said where it was from, you said it was a type. And what was that, sorry?
Annulets and piles type. There are 15 types of coin for Henry I.
Right.
Over his entire reign. They usually change them every 3 years. And then they could outlaw the previous issue and charge people 10% to change their old money into new money.
Again, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, anyway.
Paid money as wages.
Mad. Beautiful. I know it's obviously, you can see what's there and you can tell it's a beautiful coin or was a beautiful coin, but
nonetheless, still great. This is John Cornwall. He said, this is a misstruck coin found in the 90s. He sent it to Edinburgh Museum and the Flow identified it, but he's misplaced the report. So can you explain to me, the novice, what he means by a misstruck coin, how you can identify that's the case?
Well, from this picture that you're on currently, you can see at the top left, sort of 10 till 12 o'clock inside the inner circle, you can see some crescents there, just where your pointer is, with some pellets below them. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If you was to rotate that about 270 degrees, they're the right-hand hair curls on a facing portrait, and between 12 and 2 o'clock inside, you can see the beard, what's left of the beard. This is part of the portrait. It's a distinctive portrait of Henry III when he changed the coinage from short cross coinage to long cross coinage in 1247. So this particular portrait only dates from 1247 to 1279. Now, overlaying that, here's the voided long cross, which was the distinctive reverse of this type. So this particular coin has been struck, put on the pile of struck coins, and then for whatever reason, somebody's looked at it and thought, no, that's not quite good enough. We'll hit it again. And they've put it in the opposite way round between the dies. And so you've got both obverse and reverse on each side of the coin.
With you. Does that potentially add to the rareness of it?
It does. They're more rare than well-struck coins, but in terms of value, they're a lot less desirable than well-struck coins.
Really?
And the legend around the outside of the coin, if you go from sort of 9 o'clock, you can see RICVS, the end of Henricus, and then REX. And then just below that, where you can see the cross is prominent, you can see ONL, and then the arms of the cross again, and then VND. So you've got the end of Henricus Rex, and then you've got part of the reverse legend on Lund, which shows it's London Mint.
Wow.
Now,
you see, I haven't got a clue. That to me would just be a double-sided coin. But fascinating. Should we scroll to the next image? Have we got? Is that the same size? That's the same one. So let me just boost the size of that a little bit. Not that one. That one. So this is the real reverse, or is this the front again?
This side you can see more of the reverse cross, and in the top right-hand corner you can see the letters ARD. Wow. Yeah, ARD, and then below that, from like 4 o'clock, you can see the ONL. So that's the end of Ricard, which was the Mounier, and then on London. So it was made by the Mounier Ricard, in London, sometime around 1250.
Sorry, I had to briefly take a phone call from Mr. Higgins. He's unfortunately had to pop off to bed. So we've got the lovely Mrs. Higgins taking part as producer for the rest of the show. So all will be the same nonetheless. Sorry, I just had to take that phone call then, obviously. So that's why I disappeared for a moment. But fascinating. I didn't realise, and I'm sure the listeners don't realise everything that you've said about misstruck coins and what have you. It's to me, I just wouldn't have known. I'd have just probably been, I've got a lovely hammered, and passed it on to the FLO, and they would have told me what it was.
Yeah, it's good because some well-struck coins, sometimes you can't tell the mint and Mounier from the coin. Quite often you have flat spots in the legend. So to be able to get both the mint and Mounier from a coin that's been turned over in the dies, it's really good. And it's fascinating, maybe it was Friday afternoon and old Ricard in London had a few jars of mead and he was in a rush to get home and he thought, well, it doesn't look quite right, but no one will notice.
Talking of mead, Adam, I got my Christmas cake out today that I made in October and fed it with mead. Oh, yes. Ready for that. Now, this is John Cornwall again.
Right. Well, this one, I can't tell from the reverse. I'm not that good. But this is a halfpenny, and I can't tell whether it's Henry VII or Henry VIII. But if you look at the bust, he's got a distinctive arch to the top of his crown.
Right.
Now, this only came in during the reign of Henry VII, and it was used on small coins of Henry VIII also. Without being able to see the legend on the obverse or the mark, the initial mark, I can't tell which one it is from that. But either Henry VII or Henry VIII, late 15th, early 16th century halfpenny. Probably made in London, although you can't quite tell from the reverse. There's no mint signature.
Joe, you just... yourself, Annie, and Chip have all just flabbergasted me with your ability to read things. Basically, it really is fascinating. I'm for some reason some of these images have actually appeared smaller than they did when I uploaded them, so I do apologise. Next up, we've got Paul Tongue or Tongue.
Right, can you zoom in on that a little bit, please, Dave?
Try a little bit more, yeah. There we go. That's about the best I'm going to get.
Right. Well, this is Henry VI, and if you can put your cursor just on the reverse side, about 1 o'clock, and you see that diamond shape just above where you're pointing.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
That's called a mascle, and it's one of the little marks that Henry VI put on his coinage. He changed the coinage every few years, but only very slightly and very subtly. And they have hidden marks either within the reverse or next to the bust or within the legend that tell you exactly which period it was being struck. Now, there are two issues. There's the rosette mascle issue, which has got small rosettes in the legends as well as the mascles. And there's the pinecone mascle issue as well, which has got small pine cones. And if you, after the mascle on this one, the mascle is before the. You've got VI in the top left quarter, and then LA for Villa. Oh. And
it's all going on.
Yeah, and then from 3 o'clock it says Calais. So this was struck in Calais when France was part of English territory, the north of France, and I believe it's a halfpenny, and it'll be struck around about 1430, 1433.
I've got to say, Adam, you are the Rain Man of coins. How on hell you hold that information is beyond me.
I would love to take that title, but there are specialists out there that will specialise in one particular area that know far more than me. I've got quite a wide knowledge of a variety of subjects, but there are specialists in almost every subject that can make me look like I know nothing.
That's absolutely it really is astounding. I don't know how yourself, Chip, Annie, and other people hold that information. It's beyond me, really.
Well, most of, if not all, my knowledge has just come from experience with metal detecting. This particular coin coming up next, this cut quarter, I remember finding my first. It was also a cut quarter of this type.
Yeah.
With the star on the reverse. I'm thinking, oh, that's unusual. That's different. What is it? I now know it's a short cross coin of William the Lion of Scotland, William I of Scotland. Dates to 1200, 1230, something around that. And on the left-hand image, you can see some of the pellets that make up his hair. And you've moved the image. And to the left, you can see a crude cross followed by a big W. Really lazy, long W.
That one there, yeah?
Yeah. And that's the W of William. And on the right-hand side, you can see an R, which doesn't narrow it down very much. Possibly the end of Walter.
Wow.
There was two moniers called Hugh Walter working at Edinburgh, who I think they knocked out the vast majority of his coins. So, no, I can see an A as well. So. Maybe not, but it's William the Lion of Scotland, and these coins, unlike later Scottish coins, these were up to the sterling standard. These were interchangeable with English coins, and many of them circulated south of the border. Once the Scottish started debasing their coins and it was substandard silver, then not so many circulated in England, and you very rarely find later Scottish coins in England.
So what you're saying is, in them days, they could bring the Scottish currency down to England and use it, but now nobody accepts a £10 Scottish note.
Well, yeah, the trend has continued. But back then, with a cut farthing like that, most people probably wouldn't notice there was a star in the angle instead of a quatrefoil, and it would have just, it's the same weight of silver. It would have just circulated as a farthing.
Paul Tong again, he sent another image, and I like the way he's done this with the side by side. It makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's handy. The obverse picture is actually upside down. The left-hand side image. It's Henry III again, one of his long cross coins, and from the bottom you can see RIC VS REX, the end of Henricus Rex again.
Right.
And the fact that also where Rex finishes at 6 o'clock on the early coins, the legend started at 10 o'clock on the obverse, and then as he got through his reign, the legend started at 12 o'clock. So you can see what would be 12 o'clock on this coin, which is the bottom on the image. Yeah, you've got Ricketh. So this legend started at 10 o'clock. So it's one of his earlier classes. And
Adrian, can you get your head round this?
I was going to say exactly the same thing as Adam. Have you thought about becoming a flow?
Yeah, but the only drawback with that is the conflict of interest with metal detecting.
Right.
I was asked if I wanted to apply a few years ago, but yeah, the fact that I was an active metal detectorist is sort of a conflict of interest when you're dealing with other people's precious find spots, and trying to encourage them to come in and tell me where you found this, and then might say, well, no, I don't, because you might go there and find more things. So
yeah,
I wasn't prepared to give up detecting.
Out of interest, what got you into detecting?
Well, just stories of treasure since I was a little kid. I remember being with my dad on the beach once and seeing somebody metal detecting, and I said, what is it? What's he doing? I think we were digging bait for fishing, and he was digging. I said, what's he doing, Dad? And he said, oh, he's looking for treasure. And I was like, wow, I want to do that.
Why am I digging?
Much more exciting.
Digging ragworm. Yeah. No, that's interesting. Have you found anything since your hoard? Have you found anything of interest since then?
Yeah, last year was an amazing year. Apart from the hoard in January, I found 10 bits of gold last year. A few gold staters. I went to Croatia metal detecting over there, found a lot of Roman coins. I found a piece of Roman gold jewellery while I was there. And then this year, with one thing and another, it's been a lot slower. I did find a really nice Anglo-Saxon coin brooch in February this year. Gilded on the front face, pyramids type coin, and with a pin fitting on the back as well, it's been reported as treasure, but I'm still currently in possession of it due to our flow being furloughed. But yeah, nothing as significant as the Chew Valley hoard by a long way, but yeah, I'm still happy.
Yeah, I bet you are after a year like that. Yeah, blimey.
Adam, our next coin we've got up is Scotty B.
Oh, gosh. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Well, I think I've been hogging the limelight a little bit. I think some of the other panel members should have got this one.
Well, personally, I think it looks more like a token.
Work token or something. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
17th century kind of workout tokeny kind of thing.
I think that is. I think it depicts a loom on the left-hand side.
It's fallen over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those 1787 to 1802ers. There's a huge series of them from a lot of the northern towns involved in the cotton industry. Fascinating item, though, in its own right. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jules.
And
Wouldn't you agree, Adam?
Oh, no. Here we go. This is going to illustrate my ignorance now. Dog tag.
No, I think you're dead right, Jules. I think it's got to be.
I've seen.
I think
quite a lot
it's not a. It's obviously a milled coin.
I've got
a
druid.
Yeah, it's obviously a milled coin, and it's
not
no coin that I recognise.
So there you go, Scotty. You can have that. Now, Stephen Pettigan.
Right. There's no indication of size with this, but it looks more like a groat than a half groat. It's Edward III, and it's probably quite early in his reign, 1350, 1360.
If we look at the reverse.
The reverse tells us that it's London. If you can see in the bottom two quadrants, you can see where it says London.
Yeah, London.
And you might also notice that the ends are reversed. They're reverse barred.
Yeah.
Which is through his coinage. There are a lot of different issues, and there are various letter combinations with normal ends, reversed ends, double barred ends, square E's, round E's, V's with notches in them, Roman M's, Lombardic M's, and there are a huge amount of different issues with Edward III. But the first one, the pre-treaty issues, are the most common.
Fascinating. That wasn't a dig at anyone. Stephen Petho.
Right. Well, this is a Roman coin. It's a 4th century Roman coin. This is all I can see from that. Probably one Constantine or his family. Have we got the reverse picture, Dave?
Yeah.
This looks like I think it's a Victory in Sarmatia one. So it'll be Edward Constantine the First.
Now is that a rabbit getting pulled out of a hat there?
Yeah. I think it is, and
that's definitely.
I think, if you look if you go to the bottom right, bottom left of the legend, Dave, of that one.
Yeah.
Bottom left of the legend there, you can see maybe a J, yeah, and part of the legend just like that.
Well, I from research I've done into Constantine in the past, I found he was a member of the Roman magic circle. And he was an entertainer in his own right, and he spent a lot of time at children's parties as well.
Paul Daniels was related to him as well, I think, Dave, if you look on Wikipedia.
And of course, the lovely Debbie McGee.
Yes, don't forget the lovely Debbie McGee.
Now then.
Just like that, yeah.
This is Steve Osborne.
Yeah, well, thankfully, we had a lovely chap on the thread on Facebook who identified this, and I believe it's a Swedish one-ore coin from the 17th century. He did actually provide a link on the post, because I didn't know what this was myself, and so he's
so it's a Swedish coin.
He's helped dodge a bullet with that one. If anybody can get on the thread, yeah.
I could do that. I know where it is. Just bear with me. Come on. There we are. No. Get off there. Oh, there it is. So there's the thread. There's somebody else who's actually been adding more after it. Right, okay. There we go. So this is the thread, and I say that. Oh, do you know? I hate these pop-ups.
Did you just click buy it now?
Probably. I've logged in with her anyway, so it'll be right. So that's a 1630 coin. I'm not even going to go with the rest of it.
Yeah, it might be a slightly different variety to that, but he's narrowed it down to a century and a country.
So let's click on over. Yes, you can definitely with that one there. Anyway, you can see
the
that.
cross arrow. So yeah, we're lucky that we've got international readership, viewership. That can
absolutely
recognise things.
I'm just going to click onto there because I just noticed, as I say, somebody additionally, since I've actually put this post together, Darius Gukva. Hope I've got that correct. Let me go on to his other one first. This isn't part of what we've put together, but obviously we'll try and identify that nonetheless.
Can you zoom in on that, please, Dave? Right, well, it's a short cross penny, and I'm not sure whether...
There it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is right at the end of King John's reign, so sort of 1216, or right at the beginning of Henry III's reign. It's either a class 5 or a class 6. They both look very similar, and without getting a book out and seeing a better photo, I couldn't narrow it down. I think it's a class 6, but it does overlap both reigns. So it's round about 1215, 1220. And on the back, I can see it says Walter on, I don't know, London. I think it might be London. Can't quite see the rest of it, but you can see the cross at 12 o'clock on that image. And then WALTER. Yeah, TER. And then ON. And then after that is the mint, which I think is LV, and then the N is joined to the V. So, yeah, made in London by Walter.
There we go. Let me just go back to... Oh, yeah, there we go, 100%. That's better. Now, this was a chap called Adam Staples.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, this isn't one of my personal finds. This is a coin that came through the auction house.
Ah, right.
Yeah, well, this sort of comes from the Normans' fascination with stars and the Christmas star. And, you know, the Battle of Hastings, there was a comet in the sky before William decided to come to England and invade. And he took that as a good sign. You know, this is a sign we should go to England and rule everything. And so he did that. We now know that was Halley's comet that he saw. And I believe it was visible when he was crowned on Christmas Day in 1066.
Wow.
And then there was a further comet for some other battle, which they won. And then in 1106, there was a battle at Tinchebray in France, where Henry I was. And he took this as another really good sign that for a Norman victory. And he did, he won. And then the following year, 1107, he changed his coins to this type, which show the 3 stars, the 3 comets in the sky. And there he is pointing at it and saying, you know, there you go. I told you I was going to win.
Wow, that's fascinating. It really is. History in a nutshell. Now, this was a sexy little number.
And yeah, this was found by a young lad, Walter Taylor, only 16.
Really?
Well, this is one of the highlights for upcoming auction in February. Right. It was dug up by a metal detectorist in the grounds of a stately home in Staffordshire. And it's been through the treasure system. It was valued at £20,000 by Treasure. It's now been disclaimed. And at the end of February, we're going to auction it and hopefully achieve a fantastic result for the finder.
It's a stunner. Wait till you see the head, everyone.
Yeah, it's a huge ring. It weighs almost 18 grams. It's too big to even fit on my thumb. It is a real beautiful piece of treasure. There you go. And you can see from the scale up the left-hand side, it's almost 40 millimeters wide.
Wow. Right.
I'm just getting my ruler out there. Good Lord.
Yeah, and if you can see on the intaglio is engraved. We've got a GL and 3 candlesticks.
Yeah.
And we believe this relates to a family member of one of the inhabitants of the hall during this period. It dates roughly 1600 to 1620. And we're expecting a lot of interest in this. Yeah, there's a wax impression from the stone. It's a beautiful. I'm not quite sure of the stone in it. The British Museum didn't do any testing on stone to determine what it is. We have a qualified gemologist at Hansons, and we'll be looking into what it is exactly. But it's iridescent. It's blue. It's got golds in it. It's a beautiful stone.
What did you say? Sorry, Julian.
It might just be an intaglio from a type of stone known as chalcedony. That can be quite iridescent and comes in a range of shades from pink, I believe, to quite bluish. But just a guess. I'm not a gem expert.
It's beautiful. The seal in the wax, that's come out brilliantly.
That's lovely.
After what, 600 plus years?
Well, 400 years.
Sorry, 400. 600, 400. What's in 200 years?
Well, there is a chance that the stone could be earlier than the ring. There's quite a lot of precedence for the reuse of gemstones through that period. Anything from Roman gemstones, medieval gemstones were reused. And the Roughmore ring is a very famous example of that, where it was a beautiful Roman intaglio, and it was set in a very similar ring. It went through treasure. The finder was very unhappy with the valuation he got for it, and he wrote, I think it was in Treasure Hunting magazine, he wrote a big piece about it with the compulsory purchase, which he wasn't happy with. And then within a few weeks of it going into the museum, somebody walked in there and walked out with it, and it was stolen and gone forever.
Joking.
Oh.
Apparently the case, I think from memory, the case that they'd commissioned to build to put this ring in, nobody had locked it, and somebody let out with the ring.
That's just madness.
Anyway, that was a beautiful Roman intaglio.
I think this one's beautiful itself, and I do hope for the finder's sake that it does reach a good price at auction. I look forward to learning that. And it just says at the bottom about the new Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine app, which is on Google. If you just click it. I pressed it back. Then there it is. There it is in all its glory. Look, there's Adrian. And there, it's a damn good book. The seals and context in the Middle Ages. That was sent to me via Oxbow Books to do a review on, and of all the books that have been sent to me and all the books that I've got, I don't think there's any books as academical as that. It's a stunning book, absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you for that, Adam. Again, that was mind blowing for me personally. I Chip last night, Annie and yourself. You know, the ability to read things like you do is stunning. Adrian.
Yeah, I'm totally bewildered. Yeah, I was literally sitting there looking at some of my coins. I've got I found a John hammered last week, similar to the one in there, and I was just
anybody
looking
want
at
a cookie?
Yeah. Sorry,
me. Said
cookie.
Cookies.
Cookies.
You're not talking about Gary Cook, are we?
Oh.
No, edible cookies, I think.
I'll have one.
He sounds like
edible cookies. Is my microphone still on?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, I've got a lovely plate of freshly baked cookies. Yeah, there we go.
That's unfair. I'm hungry now.
I'm sorry, guys. Blame COVID.
Damn
Guys, I'll be sharing them.
Well, listen, everybody. We're going to end the show shortly, obviously, to let the lovely Mrs. Higgins get off to bed herself. Let's go for some last bits and bobs. I'll end with Mark, obviously, but Adrian, have you any last bits and bobs that you want to say?
No, just well done to you and Luke for sorting out the show this weekend. It's been interesting, to say the least, but hopefully some good will come from all these problems that have arisen. and hope everyone gets out detecting soon and stays safe, and looking forward to what people find.
Well, as I've said before, and I'll say again, I'm just a taxi driver. Luke produces, and obviously Laura produces with him. I'm just drive the car. I'm just the gobby one who has to be here going, yeah. And it's been I'll say my bit at the end. But Julian, over to yourself. Point people to your next edition of the magazine.
When's that coming out? I think in about 2 weeks' time. I think, if I might, I'd just like to say after this weekend, wow, I was really looking forward to the Detectival. Didn't happen, but I would like to say I know hundreds of people were involved, putting in immense effort, hard work. It was a tearjerker not to see it happen. We were all looking forward to that. Mark, don't let the negativity get you down. It's been in our hobby since the very first day. It will always stay there. You can just ride above it, mate. You put your whole life into this hobby. Everyone around you knows it. So all the very best with getting it off the ground. It's a technical hitch, mate. It doesn't reflect on anything. So you don't even need me to say that, but I just felt I had to. So
Love
everybody,
you, thank you.
Yeah, Geezer, mate, you're a smashing fellow, and Karen, not that Karen's a fellow, but you know what I mean.
Not long gay or anything, sweetie, she wears the trousers, apparently.
Oh, bless her. It's been a crap year. We've got through it. We will. The hobby will survive, and with all the new developments and ideas people are putting in, guys, how can we fail? We really can't. But just to say good night, everybody. Been great being part of the team on this tonight. And as always, I'm always available for a chat, or an email, or a Facebook post when I'm not banned. And you're welcome. A marvellous team we have all over Britain. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's been great having you, Jill.
Well, green light. Thank you.
Bless you,
I look forward to speaking to you in a very near future.
Yeah,
over to Mr. Staples.
Yeah. Sorry, I finished my cookie. Yeah, I've watched the show every night, even though I've not been involved in it the other 2 nights. And it's been great.
Adam, I've got to stop you. She was in the camera view on her phone then, and she looked at the computer screen, realised it could see it, and slowly moved out the way.
Anyway, a bit of a disappointment. A bit of a disappointment Saturday morning.
Hello.
They were playing along on the Detectival Saturday morning, and I managed to get online and found a token on my second dig, and found another one on about my 10th dig. Michelle was saying, "What's wrong with my internet?" And she was shouting at the phone. And my other friend, who was on video call with me, was having the same problem in Amsterdam. I'm gutted. I've got to, relinquish my Noctabini. We'll play again next weekend. We're still there.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Adam, as ever, and hopefully we'll again bring you back sometime in the near future for a show where we can discuss everything and anything. And obviously, you're now representing Joe and Alan as well, and we can obviously get them along as well.
Yeah, well, whatever, I'm always up for a chat on whatever you want to talk about, whether it's coins, detecting, auctions,
cookies,
anything. Finds ID, cookies, I haven't been digging for 6 weeks, so my car got crashed into and wrote off, and then I had COVID, so detecting's gone out the window for the moment. Christmas now, and then hopefully next year into a much better detecting year.
Let's hope so. Well, thanks again, Adam. It's been a pleasure having you on as ever. And as I say, we look forward to seeing you in the new year. And Merry Christmas to you and Michelle.
Yeah, thanks very much. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Hope to see you in the new year.
I'll see you soon, mate.
Yeah, take care.
And then we'll pop over to Mr. Becher, and we'll have some final words off Mark.
Well, what can I say? It's 2020. It's been a complete and utter balls up this year anyway. I'd just like to take a moment again to thank everybody that tried to make this weekend possible. Hopefully we will get it sorted out, but we're got to be 100% certain that it's all going to work well. You guys, number one, have been absolutely fantastic in putting up with us for this whole weekend and putting this together and hosting it. Absolutely amazing. Everybody that has come on the show has been absolutely amazing and supportive, and there's been a lot of really nice comments despite all the very negative ones out there as well. We tried to do something really nice and positive in light of the current situation this year. It just didn't quite work out the way we envisaged it. Unforeseen circumstances, shall we say, got in the way, but hopefully if we can iron them out, we will get on with it at some point in the future. But thanks to everybody that supported us, all the sponsors, you're amazing, all of our lovely marshals and supporters and members and everybody else out there. Thank you for putting up with us, and Merry Christmas to everybody and your families. Hope you're all right.
Well, Chris, sadly we lost Chris several hours ago, but I'm sure Chris can also would like to thank everybody. So on his behalf, thank you from Chris.
Yeah,
sadly,
the team and everybody as well that's put up with us for. I mean, this was a joint effort between them and us, and we've both put an awful lot into it. As I said, it's just one of those things that hopefully we can move on from.
Well, I'd personally like to thank, obviously, yourself, Chris, and Karen for inviting us to actually host the show for the weekend. It's been the first 3-dayer for us. We did do a virtual Detectival before, but we've done a whole weekend and it's been absolutely fantastic. The guests have been great. You've had to put up with my lunacy and inability to speak properly at times, but it's been great to see people that I don't think I would have seen otherwise this year. So thank you for asking us to host the show, and obviously putting the guests together as well, because I left that for you to do.
I don't think I did a bad job, actually. It's probably the only part of the weekend that's worked really well.
Mate, it's worked fantastically. In parts, we've had people waiting behind the scenes a little bit. We've had people on a little bit long, but all in all, everything is worked out to the T. We planned for 3-hour shows. And we've got a 3-hour show again.
Amazing. Your stepmother-in-law thinks you're absolutely amazing. He carries himself so well.
She hasn't seen me carry myself in real life.
Well,
but anyway, there's that. So, Mark, again, thank you very much for inviting us to do this, and Karen. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas and what have you as well, both of you. I hope you get some nice prizes. I hope you get some nice prizes that aren't metal detecting related.
Prizes or presents?
I always call them prizes. I hope you get a nice cake. A good nice
cake. You don't get very much at all.
Well, I hope you get some cake. What more can a man want? Cake and socks.
Christmas rolls. Chocolate Christmas rolls. Yeah. What they call Christmas log things. Yule log.
Oh, from Marks and Spencer's. Oh,
yeah, posh ones. Ooh, with all that
I'm
chocolate.
I'm not even having a hypo.
Trees and everything.
Well, it's as I say, it's been fantastic, and thank you for having us on. And Adrian, over to you. Thank you again, Mark. Obviously, Adrian. Any last words?
Hats off to Mark and the team at Diggers Dips. They're putting all that hard work in. I mean, Christ, there must have been a lot of hours doing that. And like I said, it's just one of those things. Move on, and we'll. I think something Mark said. It's good talking to people you wouldn't otherwise have spoken to this year. So, some good's come out of this, and just move on. But well done to the team.
Well, myself and Adrian, Adrian won't be here, sadly, this week, unfortunately. So I may be riding solo, but I may get a substitute Adrian in. And we will have on with us on Thursday's show at 8 p.m, as you can see there. We will have on Mark Ollie. Now, Mark is from TV's Lost Treasures programme. He's an archaeologist, author, historian, musician, an all-round nice bloke. And if it wasn't for Mark, I would never have got into the field of archaeology, because he actually gave me
the opportunity to take part in actual archaeological digs. And I've done about 4 or 5 sites with him. So I'm greatly looking forward to it. You'll know who he is. He's the one who dresses. He's got a beard and long hair and dresses like Van Helsing. So greatly looking forward. And he's a big, big, big supporter of Metal Detectorists as well. So from myself, again, and from Luke, thank you all for tuning in. Congratulations to... I threw the piece of paper away. I think it was Philip Williams who won the Nocta Macro. Get in touch with us and we'll sort that out, getting sent over to you. Don't forget the competition that's on the ArcMD Mag TV YouTube page, which the comments are now open for 2 Detecticon tickets, and that will be announced on Thursday's show. So again, thank you to Chris Bailey from Diggers Dips, and thank you to Mark and Karen from Detectival. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to Paul and all the people behind the scenes at Diggers Dips and Virtual Detectival, and obviously the Detectival and the Metal Detectives group. Thank you very, very much for inviting us along. Thank you, more importantly than anything, to each and every one of the viewers. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And to all the guests from Friday through to today, I'm not going to mention everybody individually, but I can't thank you enough for coming on, because it's been a pleasure to have you, and I've learned so much, especially from Chip, Annie, and Adam, definitely. So, Adrian?
Yeah, so thanks, especially to people watching. We're doing this Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. And it's nice to see the same people coming back in the chat room and watching it as well. So thank you very much. It's good. It's very good.
It certainly is. So we thank you all, and Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
A good night.
Thank you.